Oh,
Yeah.
so good. Oh, so
Hey,
good.
hey,
It's got to work
hey.
out. Carbon.
We're live today. It's 2018. Good evening, chat room. Mwah! And to everybody on the panel, Flat Earth Fred, Flat Earth Dude. What am I talking about? Flat Earth Dude. We've got Nicolas, and we've got Peter and Pete.
Excellent.
Yeah, we're here. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, good to see you, everybody.
Likewise.
Yeah, thank you ever so much for asking us to come on. It's very kind.
Oh, you're part of the family.
Well,
And,
but we get so much crap from other people that I've got to be nice to people, but give credit where credit's due, But
well, I think they're very intelligent men, so and I like
common sense.
all the things that you've done, which is kind of what I put on the post, wasn't it? Hydrogen, oxygen, hydrogen. I couldn't do it any like this. I just leave the floor to you two to talk because you've got so many brilliant videos out about things.
That was very kind of you to say that.
I know it's been really good.
Well, to be honest, we had somebody leave a comment today, and he said not really interested in chemistry, never was my thing, but after watching the videos, they are so interesting, it's unbelievable. And yet all we do essentially is change people's perception on something that they would see in a different way, if you know what I mean.
Well, we're looking at chemistry as flat earthers.
Absolutely, yeah.
Pretty good.
And so
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And every flat earther should know that you've got to question everything.
Yep.
Something else.
Absolutely, everything's on the table.
So let's look at chemistry. Let's look at the basics. There he is.
You just said then every flat earther needs to question everything, not only flat earthers, please. Everybody should.
You're right. Yeah, everybody should.
I just want to say, rude to interrupt, I know, but I just want to say I've been having bad connections and all that lot. So if I drop off, I'm dropping off and I'm going. I'll try and listen and what have you, but I don't want to keep trying to come in and out and in and out. Anyway, nice to see you all.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah.
Good to see you, Astral.
Good to see you, dude.
It's great to see you, man.
Something else you do is that you explain things, you repeat it, but you do it in a way that's great. It's a bit like you're repeating and adding. So hopefully everybody actually you see what I mean? They're going to understand it more because you keep repeating it to people.
I think the thing is that we do a video, and we look at a certain amounts of information, and we do a video based on that information, and then after we've watched it, so it's published, and then we watch it, and then we think, oh right, there's that as well, and there's
we forgot to put that in.
So we kind of like that's how we go back to something just to go over it, and add in the additional information. It's very much like the water in your gas cooker. The gas comes out your pipe. We found out the information about how much water they actually use in extracting and manufacturing natural gas. They use phenomenal amounts of water. So it's unsurprising why you've got water in some form of water, obviously in your gas pipes, and even coming out of your gas cooker.
Appliances.
Gas appliances. So when you're lighting the stuff, it's obviously going to get a lot of condensation,
water vapor
condensation forming on your cold windows and everything else. I mean, you don't need to be intelligent to understand all this stuff,
And yet, a lot of these globe people, they want to think that it's the natural gas that's burning in the air,
which contains oxygen.
That's creating the water vapor.
Yeah, which is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous because the water's already there. So we've been discussing this whole topic with a few globey people, and we've said to them, okay, you've got the reaction between hydrogen and oxygen, and you're saying that the reaction between hydrogen and oxygen will create water, right? Okay, that's fair. No, the trouble is they can't demonstrate it at all. And through our understanding, you can only produce water from the reaction between hydrogen and oxygen if there's water already present in the reaction. So if you've got hydrogen and oxygen, if you've got hydrogen and oxygen, solely those two gases, you can't produce water.
Absolutely,
you can't do it. It's one load. It's rubbish. You can't do it
unless, of course, you're changing your whole perception on your understanding on what water is. And if you think, like we do, that water and air share a close affinity, then you can understand how air can be turned to water.
Absolutely, it's so easy to. See what we're coming to. We're arriving at the point where what the things that we've covered in our videos, even like the oxygen from photosynthesis, nobody can actually demonstrate it to you. Nobody can actually demonstrate that you can get water, new fresh water, new liquid water from reacting hydrogen and oxygen. Think about it logically. How can anyone produce fresh new water that's not even there?
Absolutely,
it's ridiculous.
Paul Daniels,
let's get out Paul Daniels. Let's get Paul Daniels out. Debbie McGee,
David Copperfield.
David Copperfield. It's absolutely ridiculous. The only time you're going to produce water
is if it's already there.
The same with oxygen. If you've got oxygen from a plant, the only way you're going to get oxygen from a plant is if the oxygen's been put there. And we've had a look at a few videos, and we know that they're skewing the information in the videos to make people think that there's oxygen. Plants give off oxygen through the process of photosynthesis and all this kind of stuff. So we've done quite a few videos that are based around the oxygen, hydrogen, water kind of stuff. And in our view, all we'd like to see is if people think we're wrong, we'll just show that we're wrong by producing oxygen, hydrogen, reacting them together, and then producing the water, the new fresh water that's just appeared out of nowhere from that reaction. Nobody can do it. It's just crazy.
What we're finding is that a lot of the basic stuff that you take for granted when you were at school. I did photosynthesis at school. A lot of the basics are questionable.
Absolutely, nothing goes into detail. Nothing went into detail at school. It was
A lot of it were givens.
Yeah, it was just so vague. Science was not my thing, but it was just at school. It was almost an impossible subject for me because of the way the masters, it was a private school, taught it. It was just staring at a blackboard, and it was just nothing went into detail. Nothing was explained. It was just given. You either learnt it that way or you didn't.
Yeah, because we've come to understand that essentially the big problem that is going to come our way. I can foresee where we're going with the channel, where our videos are going, where our kind of like research is going, and that is basically that a lot of people just don't know what hydrogen and oxygen will give off in a reaction.
Well, people don't know the basics.
Well, a lot of people obviously say that you get water from hydrogen and oxygen, but you don't, because nobody can demonstrate that. But they don't know what comes off from that reaction. They don't know. You
can react sodium hydroxide with aluminium.
Absolutely, yeah.
And know what you'll get off from that reaction.
Absolutely, you get a bit of water vapor steam, and you'll get some hydrogen gas.
But with hydrogen and oxygen.
Absolutely.
When you ignite the hydrogen, what do you get from that reaction?
Absolutely, because there's no. You see, the thing is, you can have a conical flask filled with oxygen, and you can burn some hydrogen in it, and if you, after all of the oxygen has been spent, you take out your hydrogen source, and then you cap the conical flask, and you think to yourself, right, well, what I've got inside must be the byproduct of the reaction between hydrogen and oxygen. So what have I got in that flask? They don't know. They just don't know.
And
what is it?
If there is water that's collected then you have to ask yourself, where did it come from?
Absolutely, yeah. Where did the water come from?
Did the water come from the moisture in the air because of the reaction, the heat produced?
Heat produced, yeah.
Good, because they always show these demonstrations using glass, conical flask, glass test tubes.
Yeah.
And glass is cold to the touch.
Glass cold to the touch, absolutely.
It's not a warm substance. So you're going to have things evaporate, or condense on the surface. Yeah. So there's so many questions about this whole process.
Well, really, when you think about it, when you think about the information we're given about hydrogen and oxygen making water, it doesn't. That information doesn't cut the cake. And what makes it even worse is that people can't even demonstrate it. Now, if somebody can't demonstrate to me any curvature, or that water is, or that a plant gives off oxygen, why
should you accept
should I accept it to be true? I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Absolutely. Sorry. It's
crazy, and it annoys me that we've over the past few months we've been made aware that there are even flat earthers who are unwilling to even accept this kind of line of thought. They're okay with the no curvature and all this kind of stuff, but when it comes to water and stuff, oh no, it's H2O. It's H2O.
Plants do photosynthesize.
Plants do photosynthesize. What are you talking about? Of course they do. Of course they give off oxygen. It's just ridiculous because you start realizing that a lot of flat earthers are human, just like globies, and they've all got their hang-ups and all this kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, I think it shows everyone up. You've got to have an open mind to everything. And I think flat earth should have, or the resurgence of the flat earth should have taught everyone to have an open mind.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
To think more freely, and
absolutely,
and to even educate other people to think more freely as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's really good. I quite like doing what we're doing and developing our ideas. I mean, they're only ideas. We're not putting them out as facts, or we're not putting them out as like we know it all. But they're just our ideas. It's what we talk about.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
we talk about it, and then we come. Oh, right, yeah, it seems to fit the fact. Seems to fit the observations. Water breaks things down, for example.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Let's put some calcium in a jar, metal. Calcium metal, and put some water in it. Okay. Wow, it breaks down so quickly. Turns into
a white powder.
Calcium hydroxide, they'd say.
Seems that some people are opposed to observations.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but the observation is the reality, isn't it?
Right, that is the reality.
And Russian vids is always saying, some people prefer the dream rather than the reality.
Was that a flying saucer you just saw?
No, it wasn't. It was just me throwing this hubcap in the the air. I mean, but you've got to. If you see something, it's like the photos when we see photos of distant objects beyond the horizon, like the peaks,
chimney stacks,
summits of the Isle of Man, for example, beyond the horizon. We see them. It's because they're there.
Yeah.
So how people can explain them away or waft them away as being superior mirages and all this lot, because you don't see the mirage, you see what you see. So it's there. It's observation. And, a great way of distorting people's realities is to tell people that that what they're observing is wrong and they're observing something else. Isn't it, really?
Yeah.
It's not rocket science, is it?
No, but it really makes you think about what makes other people tick.
Absolutely.
How can I mean? I think we've all been there. We've all been.
I
was going to say brainwashed, but we've all been there, accepting information that we're told.
Absolutely, yeah, I've been there.
But I think deep down inside every individual, there's an innate
desire
to find the self within the information and make our own conclusions.
Absolutely,
from what we see and the world around us. Exactly. But some people just don't want to. They just don't want to go there.
Yeah, we think it's like a personal development. You become, when you start thinking flat. I mean, obviously, your observations on life are going to change dramatically.
Yeah.
And when you start looking at society, you start looking at people and everything. But what it does help you do is it encourages you to perceive in a different way, to perceive that reality, and it helps you as an individual. This is my opinion, of course, but it helps the observer to be able to be stronger in their decisions about life. It helps people be more,
reliant on themselves.
They put more trust in themselves, and that this is something that should be encouraged in society, because why should people be taught and educated and encouraged to put trust in their doctor or in their teachers or in other people? What's wrong with themselves?
I mean, who best to know their own body than yourself?
Each and every one of us. I mean, it's
because we're not educated about our body and how best to maintain it.
Absolutely, yeah, of course, yeah. Nobody knows.
We have to rely on other people, these specialists who say, "Oh, you've got this wrong with you." Likely.
These experts,
and then you go and get a test, and then you find out it's something completely different.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean,
because you get a second or third opinion.
General practitioners, they're still practicing. That's why they're called GPs.
Oh, of course, great one. Yeah, I like it. Yeah,
still practicing. You've got to be patient because they're just
learning. Yeah. I mean, I've gotten to a point where I don't
Google it anyway these days.
I'll go when I need to go and see a doctor now, or anyone, to be honest with you. Any so-called expert, I'll go with my feelings. So if I feel that I'm okay in their company, and I feel that the information they're giving me is okay, then I'll go with it. But if I start feeling that it's a bit crap, I'm going to walk out the door thinking, no, thanks ever so much, mate, but I'm prepared to come back. But I mean, it's a great way, but it's a great way to go about and live your life, I think.
I just wish that we were living our lives like this when we were younger.
Absolutely, when we were younger, everyone should.
That's the big
letdown. That's the big letdown. That's the big disappointment. But hey ho, I'm sure lots of people would agree with that.
Absolutely.
But I've got something to show to everyone. Are you guys all ready for this?
Yep.
Ready.
Right, now I've managed to get hold of. You'll love this.
Good.
This is great. This is great. Putting this in my hands or in our hands is like giving. I was thinking.
It's like giving your enemy the upper hand.
Absolutely, yeah. Because I'm going to hold this up now. Can everybody see that? Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. Now this.
Oh, you want to have a look? Show them
we've got this little cap. We've got this little filter.
Sorry, can I just ask you what is it? Is it a CO2 meter? I couldn't.
Close. No, it's actually an oximeter. It actually analyzes oxygen in the air.
Yeah, and in gases.
And in gases. Now we intend to, over the next few weeks, put this through its paces.
Absolutely.
Okay, we are going to become very adept at using this, and because I want to go around my nearest park, okay, and see if I can get the oxygen from the oxygen from the plants.
The
oxygen levels. There should be higher oxygen levels around the plants.
Yeah. Even the garden centre.
So it might take you around the garden centre as well. But what we also want to do with it is we're going to try and fool it into thinking there's oxygen there when there isn't oxygen there. Now, if we can manage that, then we know for a fact that this device does not measure oxygen in the air at all, and at the moment we know that it doesn't anyway.
Yeah,
we know that it doesn't. We just got to show it. We just got to demonstrate it. But I mean, it's great. It'd be great.
Yeah. Is that not going to be a little bit biased then? If you already know. It's not
but we have to demonstrate.
We've got to demonstrate it,
and they're more likely going to accept.
I mean, I could say anything about the device, but people think, well, we don't believe what you're saying.
That's just
we can't trust
opinion.
what you're saying. That's just your opinion. But if I've actually got some demonstrable information, well, we've used it here. Oh, well, look, we've used it in this environment where there's carbon dioxide, or where there's chlorine, and it's still registering that there's O2 there. Well, what do you know, Peter?
And we actually know how it works.
Yeah, we actually know how it works. So, I mean, we know that this device does not detect oxygen in the air
because there isn't any oxygen.
Because there isn't. The only time oxygen can exist in the air
is if you put it in there.
Is if you put it in there as a contaminant. Like, like let's say my analogy is
like if you had an oxygen tank, an oxygen cylinder.
Yeah, and you
opened it up.
You open it up, you'll get oxygen come spewing out into the air. That would be a.
Is it just me, or are they breaking up?
Sorry.
No, a little bit, maybe.
Maybe, but well, we seem to be okay on our end. But my analogy is essentially that if you just like water contains impurities, so too does air, and air, the impurities in air are like sulfur dioxide, carbon dioxide. It can be oxygen, it can be hydrogen, it could be chlorine gas, it could be hydrogen sulfide, it can be all of these chemicals, but essentially these coexist in the air, just like an impurity does in water. But water's still water and air is still air. I think I've explained that quite well.
I think so.
Yeah, that's our view. So we don't adhere to this. We don't subscribe to this O2 being 21% and nitrogen 78%. We think that's all rubbish.
Absolutely. And also one thing I thought of was that all the trees and all the plants, all the foliage is there to
it's great to develop ideas,
filter the air, clean the air.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it logically, you've got lots of impurities in the air, and one of the ways to filter that air and make it cleaner is to have plants, because plants will do that.
Trees
and it's possible that when they
Pete.
Yeah.
That what you're saying now about plants and things, right? So I know from first-hand experience, these little glass houses that you can have, terrariums with plants and stuff. And they do create their own little eco environment, and you can put as little as a few spoonfuls of water in, and that will keep growing and watering itself over the course of a year or 2 or 10 or even more years. So they are a little ecosystem, just like where we're living. That's my impression anyway.
Yeah. I mean, we watched. There was a video we added to our like super cool video list that we saw, which was based upon this guy who had a terrarium, and he only dropped a little bit of water in it. Hadn't been watered for over 40 years, and it had grown phenomenally in size. And you think, hold on a minute. Well, it's difficult to reconcile all this information. Photosynthesis, oxygen being given off, carbon dioxide, that there's only 21% oxygen in the air, and nitrogen. How does it all play a part when you really, essentially, what you see is this plant just boom. It
doesn't make sense.
Unbelievable. It doesn't make sense. Yeah.
Interesting stuff. Though.
So this little thing is going to be very, very a good tool to use. Because a lot of people, when we talk about, oxygen's not in the air, we don't think oxygen's in the air. A lot of people straight away think these guys are just ridiculous. They're talking, nonsense, rubbish. Of course, there's oxygen in there. They've got meters to detect the oxygen.
Yeah.
How can these meters, But people don't realise how they work. People don't realise, an awful lot that there really isn't any oxygen in the air.
Yeah, because a lot of these instruments that man makes as products are specifically designed and made for man's unreal world.
Yeah, because we've come to the understanding that man educates his fellow man on his world. He doesn't educate man on nature. His education isn't based on nature
and what it's like to be human.
It's based on man's world. What can man do with nature? What can man do with materials and substances? What can he do with oil? What can he do with, the air? What can he do with everything?
What can man do to destroy everything?
Well, to be honest with you, we found out. Just to give you what you were saying there, Karen, and that is how many, over 1 billion gallons of water gets pushed down into the ground to extract
natural gas
in
America.
How ridiculous! Wow, Luke, think about it.
And they use 400
over 1 billion gallons.
They use
well, can I just add to that as well, please? And we're talking about water now. To produce 1 litre of milk demands more water. Figure that one out, And we're not even a cow.
Well, what milk is about 90% water.
Yeah, well, full cream. Yeah, full cream is quite high.
It's about 90%.
No, that's.
But I mean, in the process of actually manufacturing 1 litre of milk, it demands more than a litre of water to produce that litre of milk. I think the ratio is something. I'm not sure. I have looked it up. I've forgotten, but it's like 3 to 1 or something crazy like that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
which does not make sense because that's a lose-lose situation all the time, isn't it?
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, it gives people jobs for sure, and they know that water's a very plentiful resource.
They can't make it, but they can clean it.
But they can clean it, And when you think about it, I mean, they've probably got these water factories, water plants, where they're purifying. Well, you're cleaning the water through electrolysis, through other methods, all of the time, 24 hours a day, just to so we can have what we have on our shelves and what the products we can buy. But a lot of the time, people don't realise that the products that we can buy we don't need.
No, they just want us to buy it, don't they? They just make
absolutely, of course,
want us to buy it.
Absolutely, yeah, sure. But a lot of the stuff's all rubbish, a lot of it. I'm not saying all of it, obviously, but some of the things are quite good, like the plastic bottles I bought to capture my hydrogen gas. How cool is that?
Yeah, pretty
absolutely.
Cool.
I've got a great idea. I've got my idea at the moment in this little bottle. In this little bottle is a piece of calcium metal. Okay. Hear me rattling around, and I've got an idea because there's so much water in the production of hydrogen gas, or water's involved in the production of hydrogen gas. It's just an idea I've got, and that is whenever you test for hydrogen, you get a squeaky pop. Okay, so a lit splint, in it goes, pop. You get a little pop. Now, I think it could be the water content or the moisture content that is within the tube. Container, as well as the hydrogen that gives you that squeaky pop. So I put the calcium in there to absorb all the water, and then we'll try it later on. And if we don't get the squeaky pop, then that that's telling me that it's the moisture.
Yeah, but it could well be, because one thing we know from our electrolysis, and that is when you put the gas through water to clean the gas will burn a lot cleaner, quicker.
Absolutely, yeah.
Gone.
It's gone. Poof. Where did it go?
Whereas usually, if you light it, you see a little flame in the bottle as it continues to burn, and it could be the moisture.
Oh, that's preventing it
from burning all in one go.
Yeah, I mean, it's more than possible.
Something to think about.
I mean, one of the things that when we did the videos on the gas cooker and the natural gas and containing moisture, I mean, what we're beginning to see is that when they manufacture natural gas, you're looking at temperatures that are like 1100 degrees centigrade, aren't you? Mm. And I mean, at the end of the day, when you think about it, this water's gone beyond the superheated steam, so it's going to exist as a very, very dry,
superheated.
Absolutely, a very dry dampness, isn't it?
It's hard to describe it.
Absolutely,
because you can't see it.
Absolutely, it's amazing that the gas can exist with water.
Mm.
Water can exist as gas.
And this is where we think the misconception of hydrogen comes from. Because you'll find that whenever someone produces hydrogen, there's always water involved.
It's always water, and then they think that because there's always water, they think, well, it's hydrogen. The hydrogen's producing the water. And it's obviously reacting, absolutely, and it's mixing with the oxygen, and it's producing water. But we think that that's just a load of rubbish, in our opinion.
Yeah, because Lavoisier did his experiment where he passed steam over through a
furnace, wasn't it?
Through a furnace, then into a condenser, and then allowed any gas to bubble up. His first attempt was just water, so he boiled the water.
Absolutely.
What went out was produced at the other end, so he didn't gain anything, didn't produce any hydrogen, didn't produce any oxygen. Just moved water from one end of his apparatus to the other. He puts in iron, and he gets a different result. He gets hydrogen gas.
Absolutely, yeah.
So.
What's that telling you?
What does that tell
anybody who's got a rational, logical, commonsensical kind of mindset?
Especially when one can see that it's the iron that decomposes.
Absolutely, the iron's decomposing, so something must have left.
It's only
the
reasonable to say that the gas is coming from the iron.
Absolutely, yeah, of course,
not the water.
It's, to be honest with you, I mean, it's wonderful stuff when you think about the way. Well, to be honest with you, when you think about the way chemistry is, and a lot of globe people, the way they think, and even the reluctance within flat earthers to accept something that stares them right in the face. I mean, it's ridiculous. It really is ridiculous. What a sorrowful state of affairs.
Well, well, it's no different.
It's ridiculous.
If you say to a flat earther, or some flat earthers, that water is not H2O, it's just water, they look at you as if they give you the same response as a globie.
I know, it's ridiculous. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
What are you saying, that the Earth's flat?
Yeah. So because when we initially realised the Earth was flat. I mean, obviously, we're talking to all of these people who are globies, and they're saying to us, "Well, what do you mean the Earth's flat? It's not. It's round. It's gravity. And we're looking at them, and we're saying, but prove it to us. Demonstrate that there's curvature. Demonstrate that gravity can hold all the water." Okay, so we're seeing this typical behaviour from these globe people. Now, as soon as we start talking about water and other stuff, because there's loads of rubbish in man's society, loads of it.
Yeah.
And the worst thing is that you're talking to flat earthers, and flat earthers are acting just the same as these globe people.
Yeah.
In other words, what we're finding is that there's an awful lot of flat earthers out there who love the globe society.
Yeah.
They like their jobs, they like their money, they like the car they drive, they like the house, they like everything, but they're still living a lie.
They like being stuck in traffic jams.
Absolutely. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah,
And the mind boggles.
Because you and I both promote that this, I mean, there are some good things about this society that we live in. We're not saying that all of it is crap.
Not all of it, but it could be a lot better.
It could be so much better.
So much better for everyone.
For everyone.
Everyone, absolutely.
So much better.
Absolutely.
But it's just a shame that it's not.
Can I just add to that?
Go on.
It's raining here. I'm in a garage over at my mate's house, right? But that what you just said then, I remember seeing a video documentary years ago. It was, I believe, Greg Braden. And he talked about when you have nothing, then you're happiest because there you can build everything from, And at the time, I was like, what? Are you crazy? What? But thinking back on it, and in my situation, in essence, it's true. When you have nothing, then you have everything to build upon, right? Haven't you? Because we are, I just believe it, in a way, it must be something correct in that. When you haven't got anything, you have everything to build upon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I quite agree. But you try telling that to some flat earthers.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So a lot of flat earthers don't want to lose their jobs. A lot of flat earthers don't want to not go on holiday for every year. They don't want to lose their pension. A lot of flat earthers, they like the car. I mean, this is the people. This is the thing about flat Earth that's brought up over the past few years, and that's bound to come out at some point because people can't escape from true reality. You know, and that's the fact of the human in the society we live in. Okay, you've got all these people who think the Earth's a ball. You've got all these people, growing number of people, thinking it's flat. I mean, how ridiculous is this? It's ridiculous. We're looking at the human. We start looking at ourselves, and we're starting to look at ourselves, and we're showing to other people how messed up we are as a species.
Oh, right,
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how you look at it. Human beings are messed up. Now, I'm honest about that because I see it every day. I talk to lots of people, and all I see is the messed upness in them. Okay. They do silly things. It's, for example, a great one for you.
Oh, right.
You'll love it.
You'll love this one.
You'll love it. A neighbour of ours, got himself, sold his old car, and he used to keep his old car in a garage.
Yeah.
Okay. So he sold his old car, bought a new car, and now he can't fit his new car in the garage.
It's too big.
Because it's too big. How ridiculous is that?
He even tried to get it in there.
I mean, this is ridiculous.
This is a guy who's bought, or
There's so much ridiculous behaviour going on. It's ridiculous.
I don't know whether he owns the car, but this is a 2018 BMW. I think it's one of those 4x4s.
Saloon car.
It's not one of these little old bangers like these Fiats or whatever.
It's
crazy.
Absolutely, yeah. It's just, but it's great that the flat Earth has come about, because it's starting to make people, inevitably, people will have to look at themselves. And I mean, once you've gone beyond just discussing, everyone gets bored and tired of discussing. Well, what shape is the Earth? People are going to get tired of it at some point. They're going to have
Philip Schofield,
even Philip Schofield as well. And people at the Rover's Return. But at the end of the day, they're going to have to start looking at themselves, and then we've made progress.
Well, or unless all these flat earthers do get together, and they start saying, "Come on, we want something." We want something firm. We want something. Let's start going to politicians or whatever.
Absolutely, because we're
fed up with debating.
Absolutely, we don't debate anything, because there's no point. We want to see some demonstrable proof that things are right or things are wrong. We don't want to debate, so we don't get involved in debate, because there's no point. What's the point of being there and you've walked out of a debate and you haven't solved anything? It's a waste of time, in our opinion. But one of the things that it's really good over the past few months, I'm trying to get my train of thought, and that is, ever since we did our water, I mean, when we started doing Flat Earth, I mean, we thought there was an awful lot of community spirit. There was an awful lot of togetherness in the Flat Earth community. But ever since we did our water, we've started to realise there's cracks. There's cracks everywhere in the Flat Earth community. They don't get on with them. They don't get on with them, and he don't get on with
the politics.
The politics ruins it. Ridiculous. And the thing is that the politics within the Flat Earth community is making Flat Earthers not look any better or any different than globe people. So what's the difference in thinking the Earth's flat or round?
It drives me nuts as well.
It's just ridiculous. But these are our opinions. We don't.
All the drama.
It's just rubbish. It's a waste of time.
It's a waste of energy.
A waste of energy. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, what you see, the thing is, you've got to. One of the things I think about this country, and that is, this country, unlike a business, just doesn't have like a general goal or an ethos or
objectives.
Objectives. These are our objectives. This is what we want. As a country, what do we want for our people? We don't hear any of this rubbish, apart from Theresa May, prime ministers. Well, we want better education. We want better schools. We want better buildings.
But they say the same
better
thing
hospitals, better policing. We want low crime levels. All this stuff. But what about the people?
Yeah.
This is the ridiculousness of this society. No one really cares about the people.
Well, it's like that science.
I agree with you there.
It's just ridiculous. I mean, I'm going on Tuesday I've been very lucky. Well, because I'm going to be interviewed by our local rag, by the chief reporter of all people. And I'm going to say to him how ridiculous this society is, because it is. And yet he works and represents a ridiculous society. What is the point of making a bus station, and paying an architect lots of money to design the building when he's not even going to use, when he's got a car? It's ridiculous. It really is ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
You know, I mean, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But we live, unfortunately, you know, when we go back to the people are the core of any movement or any kind of society. When we look at the people in this society, we start realizing they're messed up. And obviously through our water thing, we're starting to realize that even flat earthers haven't learned any lessons from being in the globe society.
Absolutely, yeah.
And you know,
because you have to ask yourself, why are flat earthers?
Absolutely, yeah.
Why are they?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely. Why are
I know. We can all agree that the earth is flat.
Yeah.
But we all have samenesses, obviously.
We all have samenesses, but what makes a flat earther and not a globe person?
Absolutely, of course.
You know, because I don't know if I'm explaining my point very well.
Maybe not.
It's easy for a flat earther to share or to hold some globy views and opinions.
Yeah.
Whereas really they should be. Oh no! Don't
right.
worry.
Okay. Right. Yeah. Right. Okay.
I've lost it.
Have you lost it? Really? That's unlike you. Maybe.
No,
maybe
it's so funny. That was so funny.
But you know, I mean, it's. I think you know, that's why we don't really do much flat Earth. We know the Earth's flat. We don't do many videos on flat Earth because we don't need to.
Because chemistry is just so exciting.
Absolutely, chemistry is so exciting. You know, when you think about it, you know.
Oh dear, I mean,
it's just messed up.
But one
we could go into biology. Biology's the same.
Yeah, but one good thing about it is that we are expanding a lot of. I mean, even our subscribers, our viewers, even for them to hear somebody else's viewpoint on a specific topic, is a lot different. Is a lot better for them.
It's more refreshing.
It's more refreshing.
It's mentally stimulating.
You know, to think how. Oh, I never knew I got water from my gas stove.
Absolutely. How many people know that they've got water vapor in their gas pipe?
I often wondered why, when I put my gas stove on, it gets the condensates quite a lot in the kitchen. Oh, now I know, because they put water in the gas.
Absolutely.
You know, it's just learning things like that. It's like you've just picked up on one about menthol.
Absolutely, yeah.
Menthol. Where do the people who are here now? Where do you think menthol comes from?
Absolutely.
No, menthol. Where do you think menthol comes from?
Eucalyptus trees?
No. No, that would be eucalyptus.
Yes, I know. I was trying to be clever.
Menthol is
you get it from the mint.
You get it from mint, but the trouble is what man does is that he synthetically creates it.
Absolutely.
And he synthetically creates it along with hydrogen.
In other words, what the moral of the story is that when you buy your cough sweets, if they taste like methane, then don't buy them again.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Because you'd be surprised where this stuff goes in these stuff.
People don't realise that man's world is based upon what he can do with things. Man can do an awful lot. He can play around. He's been playing around with stuff for years, hundreds of years, centuries. And we've got all of this wide variety of products, and we've got, everything, but a lot of them are rubbish.
Yeah.
Rubbish. Yeah. Absolute rubbish.
Well,
we would certainly not be a good commercial for for any company. That's
we wouldn't.
I mean, what are you buying those for? You don't need them.
You don't need
just you get better.
like colloidal silver.
Just go and have a sleep. Do you know what I mean?
Like colloidal
it's like
silver.
Colloidal silver.
Colloidal corrosion.
It's good that we've come to the conclusion that water breaks down substances, because when you've got that kind of like mindset and you start realizing, well, hey, water does break down substances. You know, this is what water does. So when you look at electrolysis, when you look at your electrodes, because with colloidal silver, you're still putting in kind of like your electrodes are your alleged silver. They're going to break down. The water is going to break it down with the help of the electricity.
Yeah, if it's not pure silver.
But if it's pure silver, now you see, the thing is, human beings are trying to find purity, but the purity that human beings find can only exist in the mind.
That's like the philosopher's stone.
Oh, the philosopher's stone.
Purity.
It's purity. You see, the thing is, a lot of people get confused, and it's interpreting the information that you're given. If you can't interpret the information well, or you accept what the information you're being told is true as such by other people, then I think you've got you need some help. I'm not saying what kind of help, but you need some help to unravel that stuff. But it's the way David Icke, lots of people are probably aware of David Icke when he says joining the dots.
Yes.
This is exactly what you've got to do with life. You've got to join the dots. You've got to ensure that a lot of the information that you're told is you can pick out what you want. Okay, what you agree with. Obviously, if you don't agree with something, you can throw it away. I was going to say, can you? No, I can't. But you kind of like, yeah. Sorry, it's because we've got that.
Can I just say something?
Yeah. Sorry, I've got that.
My internet is playing around so much, which is why there's two of me.
Yeah, you seem to be doubling up and even trebling.
Yeah.
Maybe you've grown a clone or two.
It's too much stress to be in the chat room. I'm really sorry, chat room. Please, chat room, be nice and stay nice. And mods, look after the chat room. I just can't at the moment. It's just too much stress. So please carry on. I don't want it to interrupt. It's great. Yeah. It's just that I can't do the chat room right now.
No, it's fine.
That's fine.
No problems.
I'll go and put the kettle on.
You could go and put the kettle on. Mine's a tea with one sugar. But it's I think joining the dots, there's an awful lot of dots, lots of disjointedness.
Yeah.
And you've got to take a bit out of there. I mean, when I had a look at kind of like a lot of religions many, many, many years ago, I was taking a bit out from there, a bit from there, and a bit from there, and a bit from there, and I was formulating my own ideas, because I'm a human being. That's what I do.
Yeah.
I fit things to make up my own mind.
Well, we do, don't we?
Absolutely. To make up my to make up my own ideas about life, ones that I can relate to, ones that I can trust. Because when one of the things about I've done a little bit of psychology in my time, and I've realized that over the years that one of the biggest, most important things in any society and in anyone's life is trust.
Yeah.
And trust is the most in my understanding, is the most fundamental need for any individual, because without that, we're not going to get on very well if we can't trust, say, our mothers or fathers, or our friends, or our other distant family, or work colleagues, all this lot. So trust gives us an awful lot of security. It gives us independence as well as dependence. Gives us a great sense of belonging. It gives us so much. And you can start, if you're picking things for yourself, if you're developing the mindset or the interest to go and find things out for yourself, to join all those dots, you're starting to build your own sense of trust, because that's what it's all about, where you can trust bits of information when people tell you, well, is that right or is that wrong? Well, you can weigh it up, and then you can take it or leave it. It's up to you. So, it's a great way to, to actually go about one's life, when you're in the globe society, and even if you're debating with lots of people about flat earth all the time, or globe Earth, flat Earth, globe Earth. You know, you're doing it all of the time. You know, you're just going to get stuck in this quagmire of, you know, cyclical, going on and on and on and on and on. But you're not developing as an individual. It's all about an individual. You know, and
Peter or Pete, which one? I think you're Peter, aren't you? In this, that's why we're supposed. That's why our channel's called Family United. But it's not exactly been easy along the road for all the things that you said. You know, you put yourself out there, and there's some really nasty people out there.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, yeah, sure, but to be honest with you, you know, I always think everyone's a nice person. Everyone's a nice person. Okay. I don't think that I mean, some people say, well, there's some evil people around. You know, you had Ian Brady, and you got
Sutcliffe,
Peter Sutcliffe, all these people doing heinous crimes and all this lot. But at the end of the day, they're human beings. Okay. And if a lot of people were to meet them, they might walk away thinking, well, they you know, they're not too bad.
It was a nice guy.
It was a nice guy. You know, he even made me laugh.
Yeah.
The trouble with this all goes back to society and people, because people essentially, you know, in our understanding, because we've come to the conclusion with our channel that it's more of a channel where for the individual, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's more of a channel where
like it. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, where the individual can come along, watch the videos, walk away, and weigh up for themselves, you know, whether the information's right, whether they want to drop it, leave it, or whatever. But it's not really for the group.
No.
For the group, it's only our channel's only for the individual.
Yeah, it's only because of
individual seeker.
Individual seeker, absolutely. Yeah,
because
we touch upon people. We find life fascinating.
Yeah, I know.
We find people interesting. We like talking about that kind of stuff. A lot of people don't.
Yeah.
You know, but it's nice for individuals to actually come and watch the videos and learn a bit about themselves that other people wouldn't tell them.
Because a lot of, I think, I don't know whether I'd be right in saying, but a lot of the viewers are able to relate to things that we say or experiences that we mention.
Like,
I think we mentioned if we bump into someone at a shop or whatever, I don't know. But there's things there that people can relate to on an individual level.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Like the bloke trying to park his big car in a small garage.
Well, we tend to just talk about real life, you know, because you know, I don't, our channel's not really for, like, you know, I wouldn't expect a group of people to all be sitting around watching one of our videos. Do you know what I mean? I mean, that's ridiculous. Well, maybe a Jeranism video.
Yeah, we do have a subscriber who's watches it with his kids.
Oh, right. but yeah, I mean, it's.
Well, my daughter watches it sometimes. She's 6. She likes it.
Yeah. We had got a subscriber. I don't know whether she still watches, listens, but she's in Australia, and she even has us on when she's doing her hoovering and her housework. You know.
Yeah.
But you know, it's the same with anybody's channel. People will like you, people won't like you. You know, that's a fact of life. You can't escape that. You'll get on with some people, but you can't get on with everyone.
Yeah, but then you have the option not to watch the videos.
Absolutely, of course. You know, I don't force people to watch the videos, and I certainly wouldn't want them to. But you know, I suppose at the end of the day, for us, it's just a case of, you know, we put out our thing. You know, if people like it, then they like it. If they don't, they go and watch somebody else's videos. You know, I'm not bothered.
Cops or something.
Absolutely, or go and watch somebody talk about the curvature, the non-existent curvature for the 3000.
Bendy water.
You could actually create a joke for flat earthers, couldn't you? Did you hear about the flat earther who I don't know, who went into a bar and like someone was mentioning about curve and like the flat earther goes, "Oh, I've heard enough about curvature."
Yeah, you should do.
You can kind of create a joke, can you?
But it's because it's nice to be. I suppose
it's nice to find some humour in it.
Well, even I don't know why people think we're funny. I don't think we're funny at all.
No, I don't.
Some guy left a comment and he said, "I think humour mixed with logic."
I think you guys are funny because when you do your little videos, you're so in each other's mouths and you're so like sarcastic, but yet clever with it. If you know what I mean, you're very, very clever.
Yeah, absolutely.
My
wife can't work
out. I can't put myself into a viewer, so I don't.
Yeah, it's hard to. Yeah, but there's been times where even I've laughed at some of our videos that we've done.
Absolutely, yeah. But I mean, at the end of the day, when you think about it, I watch so many people's channels, and there's no laughter in them. There's no fun.
Yeah,
no.
They're all boring.
Far too boring and serious.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think
but not serious in a good way.
Oh yeah, well, yeah. But I think
boring your own way.
It's nice to have a bit of. No, that's why we do our karaoke, because it just lightens the mood. It's a bit of fun.
Yeah.
I like a bit of singing.
It's nice to do something that a lot of your viewers wouldn't dream of doing, because in some ways it puts across. Don't be frightened to do something like that.
Yeah, I'm surprised. To be honest with you, I'm surprised we've been doing our channel since 2015, and we've started using our inflatable instruments for maybe
6 months.
6 months, and not one person has taken the mickey out of our inflatable instruments.
Yeah, I know.
Can you believe it? I can't believe it. Why not one person's left us a comment saying you guys are idiots with your inflatable?
No, why would they take the mickey out?
Exactly.
Because that's the intro going. I'm telling you.
Yeah, sure, but
it took me 6 months to figure out that it wasn't even real guitars.
Well, to be honest with you, I mean, if I saw it, I mean, I used to go to the pub. When I used to go to the pub, there was a guy there who used to take his little inflatable guitar, and so when they had the karaoke, he'd be standing there, pretending to play it, and I thought to myself, that's the last thing that I'd be doing in a pub.
Oh, right,
yeah. Can I ask you, please? Can you not just present it possibly for us, if not right now, but maybe like in 2 minutes or so? Prep it up and what have you, because there might be people not aware of it or whatever, and I just think it's brilliant. Your start of your show when you're on the air guitars and whatever,
Oh, we got to do a song.
Well, we could get a karaoke up, but everyone could join in.
Well,
we
can share. Yeah. I think. Well, what song would you like?
What song would you like?
Well, one that's relatively short and one that's relatively fast.
We don't want to get
please.
We don't want any copyrights. Maybe we
copyright. Well, we could do a couple of verses.
Yeah, but the karaoke copyright's pretty alright, isn't it?
No, it depends on the song, doesn't it?
Oh, right, yeah.
That's true. It does.
Yeah, a couple of verses wouldn't harm.
I
don't know what song you'd like. What song? What song could we do? What song could we do? I'm not trying to think of a song. I can't think of a song.
I don't know.
You're on the spot now.
Oh, I know what we can do. Try this. What would happen if we go over the copyright? Would that be?
No, you have to be careful with the copyright.
You guys, as you sing, you're creating your own copyright. Okay?
That's true.
Yeah.
So
I've seen a lot of people,
you can sing whatever song you want to.
But you've got to sing with us.
Yeah, I will.
If it's just a karaoke version, I think it's okay.
Yeah. My mate's going to get in his guitar so he can play along as well, or maybe I will.
Yeah,
sure.
Driving,
Wait there. It's got ads. Wait there. Is this ad all the way through?
Oh, it's because you're using Chrome.
Oh, is it? Oh, right. We haven't got
to play it.
Sorry, wait there. Sorry, I'm just getting the karaoke track.
What are we doing?
We're going to do.
Is everyone in the chat going to sing along as well?
I hope so. So we're going to do "Let's Dance" by David Bowie.
Oh, I like that one.
Okay. I'm not too keen on it myself, but Okay, you ready? Wait there.
Put on your red shoes.
Yeah, that's
the one. You got the one. You got it, baby.
Yeah,
got it.
Private.
You're on your microphone.
I got it, Private.
Behind you there.
It's Friday. It's Friday, Karen.
Here we go.
Time for some fun.
It's the karaoke version, yeah, not the copyrighted version.
Are you ready?
Karaoke. It's karaoke.
I can't believe we're doing it.
Let's do this.
Go on, sing along now.
Come on.
You know the words.
I know the chorus.
Let's sing.
Put on your red shoes and dance the blues.
Let's sing.
To the song they're playing on the radio.
On the YouTube. Let's sing.
Wild color lights up your face.
Yeah, let's grab that globe. Get rid of it. Throw it out.
Sway through the crowd to an empty space.
Yeah.
Got a cold.
No space.
And if you say run,
Yeah, I'll walk with you.
I'll run with you.
Yeah.
And if you say hi,
Like Brian Cox.
we'll
On the flat
hide. Because my love for you
Yeah.
would break my
break it.
heart in two. If you should fall into my arms and tremble like a flower. Anyway, I think that should be. Yeah, that's it now. That's it. I'm afraid. I didn't.
We didn't hear any music, by the way. We only heard
I didn't
you.
even share I didn't even share the screen, did I?
No, but it was.
I didn't share the screen, did I?
It was good. It was good.
No, you
We
didn't.
didn't hear any music.
I didn't share the screen. Do apologise.
You ruined it.
That's because I didn't want anyone to join in.
No, apparently not.
No, I do apologise for that. It wasn't. No, I didn't mean
take
to.
two.
Nobody told me anyway.
Next time.
Next time we'll have to do. Does your chewing gum lose its flavour on the bedpost overnight?
Yeah.
Because then I can tell everyone what's in your chewing gum. And then
Absolutely.
it probably won't make you buy any for the rest of your life.
Because there'll probably be some hydrogen.
Absolutely. We don't know. There's probably some glue. I don't know whether they put glue in it.
Probably, yeah.
I might put a form of glue.
Plastic.
Bones.
Maybe plastic.
Plastic, maybe. Yeah, plastic. I mean, that's the thing. When the internet's brilliant because you can go and find out information that you'd never dream of finding out ever in your whole life.
It's amazing. It's
absolutely
amazing.
That's why it annoys me. It annoys me when somebody says, "Oh, what have you been doing? Watching YouTube videos?" Oh, that's absolutely
well, hell yeah, I have. Because
and you think, hold on a minute, but people have got access to the internet.
You can learn so much from YouTube videos.
You can learn so much from the internet.
Yeah.
Dude, you can learn how to fix your, heater.
Fix your car or fix your computer. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely, yeah. You can absolutely, or make better, or you can actually go and find out how to light your cooker.
You guys could watch a couple videos on how to sing a little better, maybe.
Well, possibly, yeah, we could do.
I'm just kidding, man.
Yeah, that's fine. I've got.
You could actually learn to play the guitar, though. That you could do.
Yeah, I know. I should, but guitar's really not my thing.
How about a ukulele then?
I can.
Ukulele.
It's
you
funny.
guys look like ukulele guys. A little more like ukulele, maybe. Mandolin.
Maybe.
Oh, right, yeah. I do know some bluegrasses.
Banjo, maybe the banjo.
But yeah, there you go. So yeah. Anyway, I suppose we should say hi to everyone in the chat room.
Yeah, we should say hi to everyone in the chat.
Let's say hi to every single person in the chat room. Ready, go.
Hi. There we go.
Yeah, it's great. I mean,
mind you, I have to say that it is nice to come along here and feel as though we're in a group of friends.
Oh, feel welcome.
Feel welcome because when we were on Truth Week Radio, Iron Realm Media. Complete opposite.
Wow. I hear a guitar. Did I hear a guitar?
I heard a good
Yeah, I hear one too.
Well, it's good that you say that anyway. That's what we're
it's a
here
mood.
for. We're all learning, growing, and
Absolutely,
I think your channel's great.
Well, it's all about sharing as well, really.
Yeah, it's all about sharing. It's all about, I suppose, taking. It's all about giving to one another. You know,
because when you think,
because knowledge should be shared. It shouldn't be owned, or it shouldn't be
totally open.
You know,
possessed,
or be bought, or
but the trouble with the globe society is that the individual's job and status is reliant heavily on that person possessing certain knowledge,
right?
Which is wrong.
He's playing the guitar.
Astral.
Is that Astral playing the guitar?
Yeah, I think it's Flat Earth Dude.
No, that's Astral, man.
Oh, is it?
No,
I'm driving it.
It's not me. It's not me. It's my mate who's playing guitar. I'm sorry. No, it's me. It's me.
He sounds really, really good.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, we need some.
My mate Johan. My mate from Greenland.
Is that related to the Mars rover?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Greenland.
You know, I mean, I don't know why people watch television. It's ridiculous. It's crazy.
Yeah.
When I go and see this guy on Tuesday, I'm going to be looking at him as if he's just come out of a nut house. Right.
That's good.
You're going to be all right. You're all right, mate. You know.
Hey, Nick, as we've got Nicolas here, Nicolas, is there any questions you'd like to ask Peter and Pete?
No, not really.
We're all self-explanatory, aren't we? Really?
Yeah.
It's nice, you know. That's what, because we were thinking, because we get fed up with all these Globy people leaving comments, you know, and all we say to them, just show us the water, the new fresh water from hydrogen oxygen. That's all you've got to do.
Yeah,
stop leaving us messages and messages and messages, and we get so fed up.
You know how they call us flat earthers because we think we know the world's flat, but that you guys know that there's no oxygen and hydrogen in water. So what are you, a non-waterer, or what are you?
All right, yeah, that's a good one. I don't know, mate. I don't know.
Non-hydrogen and oxygen in water.
I've always thought about that. I'm kind of like a realist.
Right.
Yeah.
I get it. I'm just trying to be
realist, living in the real world.
Living in the real world. I wouldn't know how to, because we have actually thought about. We came across the word nomenclature, and nomenclature is a word relating to the
names and classifications of words that relate to things like gases, and objects, or within a certain discipline. And we thought to ourselves, well, you know, I think our little word our new word for oxygen, which is Calorgen, is pretty good.
Wow.
Because it describes exactly how oxygen or Calorgen comes about.
Yeah.
It loves heat. It's very thermophilic. So we were thinking about, because it's quite possible that we'll have to find one for hydrogen.
Yeah.
Because hydrogen it gives people the impression that there's water formed whenever you
because it's the
burn hydrogen, but the water is already. I always think that hydrogen, there's always the water there in hydrogen.
Yeah.
Along with hydrogen, you know, hydrogen's produced with water.
Yeah, because hydrogen, our understanding of hydrogen is that it's the binding substance that holds everything together. So when water breaks a substance down, whether it's charcoal or whether it's iron,
you'll get hydrogen.
Hydrogen will be released.
Absolutely, yeah, of course. Or if you're doing electrolysis and you're doing, say, sodium chloride, you'll get the sodium will break down to release the hydrogen.
Yeah.
The cathode. Or
so
if you're doing
that's our understanding.
Acid, you know, but you know, so it's
which is great because no one, as far as we're aware, can disprove us.
I think the
Nobody can.
Over the years, or over the past year.
Look, I think they have math that can disprove you, right? I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm kidding, man.
Oh yeah, sure.
Formula.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Boy, I got formula. Yeah, that disproves you.
It's ridiculous. But we did. The only thing that as far as I'm aware, the only claim that we've made that I felt we weren't too right about at the time was the fire triangle and oxygen.
Because the fire triangle now currently is heat, fuel, and oxygen.
Oxygen, yeah, of course.
But I've always sort of led to, because you have to think there's no oxygen in the air.
Absolutely, yeah.
So you think, well, it should be fuel, heat, and air. So because that's what it was many years ago.
So we thought we'd take out the oxygen, just have air, fuel, and heat. And we actually, because of the lack of information, can you believe it? The lack of information online, we had to do our own kind of like experiments to show to us that you can actually burn something in a pure oxygen environment, because there was no information online.
Or any information.
So we did it, and we've now come to the understanding that it should be air stroke oxygen.
But then we could challenge
absolutely,
Pete here,
you could,
and say, but the oxygen comes from the air anyway
to begin with.
We can revert back to
the air, absolutely,
air, fuel, and heat.
Absolutely, it's marvelous to actually formulate like a statement or a claim that nobody can disprove.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice. It's so nice. Water.
Cool. It's pretty cool.
Water doesn't conduct electricity. Nobody can disprove that, because nobody can make water free of impurities to then check whether you're going to get the conductivity.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous. And yet we've got science.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, because the things they use to test for impurities in water is all based on electricity.
Parts per million.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they need electricity to be able to measure, or
Right.
to, assess
how
much impurities are. TDS, isn't it?
That's
Right.
the
TDM. Isn't it TDS?
Oh, that's
But if you can't, you'll get to a point where how much. Absolutely, they can only put so much electricity through water, can't they? But then how do they know? How can they ever know when the water is clean and free of impurities?
Yeah.
What tests have they got?
Yeah.
Other than put electrical current through water? It's crazy.
Because you can't rely on a pH.
You can't rely on pH at all. You can't rely on probes. You can't rely on anything.
Because the probes rely on electricity.
Absolutely. Man's world is rubbish.
It is.
Yeah.
It's absolute rubbish. I mean, it's ridiculous. That's why Tuesday when I go and see him, I'm going to give him
so it's the oxygen from the plant.
He'll leave the interview, and because I intend to record it, that's for sure. But he'll probably leave and say, "Wow,
Oh yeah, but if he's a clever reporter, he'll just stick to flat Earth.
I reckon he will. I reckon he'll stick to flat Earth.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
If he's
But I mean, I was out on the street with Vic, because even I get tired. I go out with Vic kind of regularly on the streets of Chester just to do some street activism.
Yeah.
And I got to a point last time I went out with him. I got to a point where I'm kind of like getting bored. I feel bored. I've gone over all of my stuff. I'm getting bored, and because I do like a bit of stimulation. I get bored if I'm being repetitive. I get bored, and so I even start talking about water. Can anyone show me the hydrogen and oxygen in water? because I mean, absolutely. Can you imagine? You're on the street. Let's say you're going shopping. You got your girlfriend. You're walking down the street, going into some shops, buy a nice jacket or something, and you're walking down the street, and all of a sudden there's a bloke there, and he's on a microphone, okay, and he's saying, "Where's the oxygen from the plants?
Where's the oxygen? Where?
Absolutely.
Where is it? Where's the oxygen? Where is it?
Yeah, where is it?
Where is it?
Show us it.
Show us it. You know,
Show me the oxygen. Show me.
Absolutely. But it's something that people think, I can't believe this.
Oh, yeah.
I just can't believe this.
It really shows this society up.
It shows the society up to be rubbish.
Yeah.
To be based on.
So what do you guys?
Rubbish after rubbish.
What do you guys think about gasoline?
What about it?
I mean, do you think it is what they tell us it is? I mean, is it?
I don't know.
We haven't really
looked into
well,
it.
Look into that. Would you look into that for me? I appreciate it.
Yeah. The only thing relating to gasoline that we've looked at is that oil documentary about it's not fossil fuel. There's loads of oil.
Yeah, we did watch a video a long time ago about
it's
fossil
plentiful.
Fuel. Yeah, crude oil.
Yeah,
crude oil.
Yeah. That's the only oil video.
I mean, hopefully we'll obviously. I mean, I don't know what we will be looking at in 3 months.
Your hydrocarbons. This is another one.
Hydrocarbons. Going along with our. Did any of you guys watch our carbohydrates?
Carbohydrates. That's energy. That's our food. That's our.
Right. Okay. Well, no, not in our understanding.
No.
We came to the conclusion that carbohydrate relates to a process that humans do to make their foods.
Yeah.
So they basically hydration is all to do with soaking. Carbo relates to carbon dioxide. Okay, so they'll add some kind of carbon-based material or carbon dioxide bubbles, some carbon dioxide through, introduce it in the manufacturing process along the way. So essentially, what you get is like sugar. Sugar goes through a carbohydration process. So right at the end of the process, you've got sugar, and then they can say, well, we've got carbohydrates. 30% or whatever, you know, but it's a process. They're not actually contained in the stuff, if you know what I mean. It's like your bananas, for example. Human beings cannot say how much a banana has in carbohydrate. Can't do it
because it hasn't gone through the carbohydration
process. Because it's a natural thing. Man is subservient to nature.
Yeah.
Hey, you can keep talking, but is this music too noisy for you, or is it? Because I'm saying to him, can you play quietly? Or is it disturbing?
Yeah, but yeah, absolutely. You know, it's
because you'll find that it's like mono. What was it? What was it then?
Monohydrate.
Yeah, monohydrate.
Monohydrate. The word monohydrate
means it's been put in water once.
There's the substance, whatever you're making, has been placed in water and leached once.
Yeah, because anything that man makes, food-wise or chemical-wise, he will give a name to a certain process and apply that named process to the substance.
Absolutely, and you'll be surprised how many other substances go through the same process.
Yeah,
you know, so
all what you're reading about carbohydrates
just relates to
saturates,
absolutely,
polyunsaturates.
Yeah, absolutely,
it all relates to processes that man's doing with these foodstuffs.
To create these foodstuffs.
Absolutely, yeah,
absolutely. But
it reminds me of the flora. You know, low in polyunsaturates.
Absolutely, but that's because they've made it so that they are low in polyunsaturates.
They've made it in a different way.
They made it in a different way where you get high saturates.
Where you would, where you wouldn't.
Absolutely, sure. Yeah,
it's so easy to work out.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, man makes all of his rubbish, doesn't he? Really. Man makes all of his rubbish, and there you go.
What man makes is things that people buy. That's what the essence of it all is all about. Make something we can sell, for God's sake. That's what.
Yeah.
It's a product.
Absolutely, it's a product.
But it's like sell. What can we sell now?
Absolutely,
think of something crazy and ridiculous. You can buy it, man. I'm telling you.
But you've
Think
also
of the most craziest thing you can think of,
you need it.
and I guarantee you can buy it.
yeah, but
Without
You
a
need
doubt.
it.
It's
But you've
there,
got
it's
to
for
remember,
sale.
hold on, you've got to remember that some people make these products. It gives
people jobs. It gives people jobs. Well, it's a societal thing, you know. Even though we're
Of course, that's true, exactly what you're saying. But what I mean is this: think of anything, absolutely anything, you can buy it.
Can't buy love.
Can't buy love.
I
can't buy
differ to. Sorry, I beg to differ, because if you was to type in whatever, buy love or whatever, you would find something there online. I know people that do things like that, you know. We hear about all these.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, we know somebody in
from
Australia.
Russia with love and Ukraine love and this that.
But I like that, from Russia with love. Yeah.
Oh, right,
Yeah. You can imagine a Russian dating site.
Yeah,
you know, all these
but then
Netflix. Imagine that. Yeah.
But then 5 years down the line, you'd be buying the divorce.
Well, yeah, but at the same time,
you'd be buying them at home.
What you said is you can't buy love. You can, and people do, and people buy love. You know, even for an hour and a half or whatever. If the going rate is, I don't know. I never do that, but you know what I'm saying.
Sounds like that sounds more like
point taken. Point taken. But do you understand what I'm saying? There is nothing that you couldn't imagine you couldn't buy, and it's true if you think about it.
Yeah, well, you can't. Yeah, but you can't buy a genuine smile.
You can't buy a genuine smile.
That's something nobody can buy.
You can't.
A genuine smile.
You can't buy bit of. What was it?
Now selling them online.
Bit of politeness and courtesy.
Genuine smiles for sale.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, isn't it strange that you can go into a shop? You can go into a shop, and because you're a purchaser, you're a customer. You know, lots of people smile at you.
Oh, right,
because you got money.
Can I help you?
You got something they want.
Yeah. Can I help you?
Absolutely.
You right there?
You right there? Can I?
You right there?
Yeah.
It's all ridiculous. You know?
That's the best that customer service is.
Customer service. Right, customer service. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah, it's a pet hate of mine when I go somewhere, and you know, you're waiting at the checkout, and then they call you over and they say, "Can are you right there?"
Oh,
and then you think to yourself, "Oh, what's wrong?" You know, you think something's wrong with me, like I've got two heads or something. You know what I mean? Or,
yeah, you right there.
Absolutely, it's just ridiculous. It's as if they're questioning whether you are okay, whether you've got mental health problems or something.
Yeah, well, there's something wrong with you.
There's something wrong with you.
Can I just add to that though? I was in America many years ago, and the first time actually that I was there, I had to go into a store, and the first thing that it was apparent, you know, someone came over to me and said, "Hi, my name is Cheryl. I'm such and such a person, and if you need any assistance, please don't hesitate to ask me." You know, I was like, I mean, it blew me away. Like, wow.
Yeah, because you don't get it in this country.
Manchester, you know, do you want any help? Let us know. You know, that kind of thing. Well, but you know, it was like very polite and very, you know, the etiquette behind it in America. It's so apparent. Well, back then it was. I don't know how things are now, but I mean, it was. People were there to help, you know, and they were very friendly, you know.
Yeah, they're pretty good over in America.
Yeah, American people, I find, are how can I call it? If you're an English person, you could feel that you're quite nasty to someone, whereas an American person would take it with a pinch of salt. And as an English person, you're like thinking, oh, isn't this person getting offended, or you know? Because an English person would. So it's quite interesting to see the dynamics with that. Just seeing who's in chat.
Yeah, we've got...
is that Vic?
Hello, Vic.
Hello, Vic.
We've got No One's Flower, hello.
Hello, No One's Flower.
Who else have we got? I'm just being nosy.
Just being nosy, having a nose.
You're not being nosy.
Yeah, thanks, because
I'm... chat room that's
absolutely
the hangout that you two are.
Dawn.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, sure.
Hello, everybody in chat.
We're going to love to do. We're going to love to do our. See, what I should do is on Tuesday when I'm with Vic, I should take my oxygen analyzer with me, okay, and I should show and take a plant with me and actually show him that plant doesn't give off oxygen.
Yeah.
Oh, we could take them around Grosvenor Park, couldn't we?
Absolutely, yeah, sure. But I mean, that's what I should be doing because when you really do think of it from our point of view, for people to only think that the oxygen is given off through photosynthesis, plant respiration, is these people must be
Demented.
Yeah. I mean, it's okay thinking that if you're in that dream world of the globe society,
because
if you live in that globe society
but
dream world,
isn't
the
that
plant's giving off oxygen, of course. Well, look at its green leaves. Well, that's because it's giving off lots of oxygen.
But you've got to remember that that's man's interpretation of what's happening.
Absolutely. It's man's interpretation.
Doesn't mean to say it's right.
Absolutely. Doesn't mean to say it's true. Because one of the things that everyone should realize about science, and that is science is gives people an understanding. It's not there to discover truths. It's not there to, find the answers to all of the questions or whatever. It's only there to provide an interpretation to observations, an understanding, give people an understanding.
This is the science to the masses.
This is the science to the masses, absolutely. When we go, when we look at our biology with our cells, when we look at the chemistry, when we look at physics, it's just an understanding that science, that we're given by society as to how they, interpret what they see. But a lot of the time, it's just wrong.
Well, a lot of times, and rubbish as well.
And rubbish as well, But it's just one of those things. I mean, I can remember, when I was at school, I can remember my physics teacher. She said to me, "I dropped some mercury." Sorry, my chemistry teacher. She was also my physics teacher. But I dropped some mercury, and she said to me, "Oh, you better be careful with that because it's poisonous." So she got the she wouldn't let me kind of like pick it up with the I don't know what they use, like a brush or comb or something, just to stick the mercury to pick it up. But she did it herself because she said to me it was very poisonous. Now it transpires, okay, that a few weeks ago we had a little look at mercury. And mercury is harmless. So I could have, but I look back and I think, well, the teacher's obviously, not giving me correct information.
Oh, it's only the vapors, isn't it?
It's only the vapors.
Peter. So why is mercury harmless then?
Because as far as I'm aware, okay, I'm only going on information that I've read online. And some guy actually said that handling mercury is pretty harmless. When you look at Lavoisier's experiments, okay, many years ago, and even Priestley and all of these ancient chemists, in order
of the Brotherhood.
When they were of the Brotherhood, of course, when they were talking about gases, or when the investigation and research of gases became popular during the mid 1700s. And thereon after, they realized that a lot of gases dissolved in water, so they didn't use water, they used mercury. Okay, so you could collect gas in a jar and use mercury as your means of sealing that gas in until you obviously lift the lid up or you remove it from its position. Now, how on earth did they get the mercury there to begin with? What do they wear? Super special gloves, or what do they use? Shovels, or what do they use? I mean, so when I think about that, and then I think about the piece of information that I read, mercury is pretty harmless when you touch it. It's not poisonous. I think to myself, well, it's kind of possible. But obviously, when it's burned, that's where the health,
ingest it,
or when you ingest it, or other times, then the problems will occur. You see, there's an awful lot of misconceptions surrounding an awful lot of substances.
Well, it's like water conducting electricity.
Absolutely. I mean, some people say that a substance is quite dangerous, but it's not. It's only dangerous when it's in a certain condition or when it's put into a certain situation. Which goes on our understanding about gases. There's no such thing as a harmful gas. It's just the environment in which you're exposed to that gas which determines whether that gas is harmful or harmless. You know, I mean, which makes sense.
Yeah, basically,
it makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, if you put a mouse into a little matchbox, if you can get one in, and you've got carbon dioxide in it, you know, it's going to die very quickly. But if you put it into this big, you know, this big, humongous container, it's going to live for a lot longer period of time in carbon dioxide. You know, I mean, you know.
Or if you put a small amount of carbon dioxide in a big chamber.
Or if you put a small amount of carbon dioxide in a big chamber
with a mouse.
Yeah, sure.
It'll live.
I suppose the better one would be to, you know, letting off your chlorine gas in a football field.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I mean, and you're standing at the goalpost and the centre.
Yeah.
In the centre, your chlorine gas is coming off. I mean, that's not going to be harmful to you at all, is it?
No, only the referee.
Only the referee. But, you know, obviously, if you're closer to the chlorine gas, it's going to be more harmful. So it's the environment that you're in that determines
also
whether
the
gas is harmful. Well, I'd say that
because it would still diffuse, but if it's more concentrated, it would diffuse over a larger
maybe
area.
Yeah, absolutely. But so in my understanding, you know, I'd be quite happy to touch mercury.
Yeah,
I'd be more than happy to touch mercury. Obviously, I wouldn't ingest it, and I would not burn it and smell the vapors,
or get it into a blood or wound, or
absolutely,
whatever.
Yeah. But I would, I would touch it. I mean, another thing as well, which because we're talking about mercury, when we had a little look at a video where we're looking at Lavoisier and how he used mercury to seal in his gases, and there was one experiment where he had the retort on the
furnace.
So the retort's there, and the pipe goes up, and then it curls round, and then into a dish reservoir of mercury, and then up into this bell jar, which was filled with mercury. Now the mercury in the bell jar, when pictured, if you look at the photos or the demonstrations, the mercury is always higher than the mercury level in the reservoir. And I'm thinking, how on earth did they get that high? I still can't work it out. So if anyone's got any ideas on that one, please let us know.
Well, it must have been created a vacuum.
But how could he have created the vacuum? I can't work out how the mercury is this high in the bell jar and the mercury is this high in the reservoir.
Yeah, but mercury might be quite
I don't know.
It's like there's mercury in your thermometer, and that can rise.
Absolutely, yeah, sure.
Can expand quite easily.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. It's great stuff. Wonderful.
Yeah, it's all about looking at things and asking, having these questions come into your head.
Oh, right, yeah.
And trying to figure them out yourself.
Absolutely, yeah. Which goes back to what I said earlier. It's all about developing your own individual mindset to where you can trust where you can trust yourself.
Yeah, because if something makes sense to you,
then go with it.
Then go with it.
Absolutely. If it doesn't make sense to you, then you know, don't go with it.
Or perhaps ask more.
Unless, of course, you're demented. Now, if you're demented, you're obviously going to go with stuff that doesn't make sense.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, I mean, you know, it's just ridiculous. I'm trying to think where I'm hoping to go to a local park with the oxygen analyzer, and I'm hoping that I can actually get somebody come up to me, because I might put on the lab coat and the wig, you know, and walk around there with my oxygen analyzer, and hopefully somebody might come up to me and say, what on earth are you doing? Because I'll say, well, I'm trying to detect the oxygen that's supposed to be coming off from these plants,
these trees,
whatever. You know, we've got photosynthesis. You know, come on, you know, it's rubbish. I don't know how anyone could send their children to school.
And some people say, is this guy for real?
Absolutely, yeah, of course, yeah.
What he's doing.
I was talking to a few people today about what I intend to do with the oxygen analyzer, and you know, people are just going, I can't believe it.
No, it's amazing
but
when you're actually questioning
absolutely
these givens that everybody knows, or that everyone was told when they were young at school. When you actually start questioning them and you start telling people that you're going to find the oxygen levels from trees and bushes in a park, people think you're absolutely mad.
Absolutely, yeah. But
you're using an oxygen analyzer and a specific piece of equipment that's supposed to measure the levels of oxygen in the air. So logic has it that by trees, bushes,
absolutely, you should have
a higher level of oxygen.
Absolutely.
Than if you're in a wide open space.
Absolutely. So if anyone's got a greenhouse that I can come round to and
greenhouse,
use the oxygen analyzer,
we should go to a nursery, a plant nursery.
Absolutely, yeah, we should do.
We should do that.
You know, I mean, you know, it's ridiculous when you really do think about it. You know, there's nobody can show you the curve. Yeah. Nobody can show you. I mean, I was watching this. What was it? The $10,000 challenge, curve challenge.
Right, on Eric
Globe challenge.
Yeah, Globe challenge.
You know, and we're thinking.
No, hold on. We when we were watching that, I said to my brother, I said to him, I bet you a Globie is going to put up a video, $10,000
flat
Earth challenge. You know, this is how the whole flat Earth, globe Earth dichotomy exists, because nobody can categorically prove it decisively.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you got so many people arguing and bickering over, you know, the shape of the Earth, and you think to yourself, hold on a minute, nobody has actually starting to actually just rationally think to themselves, well, hold on a minute, why are these people arguing so much? There's got to be something wrong. So, obviously it can't be round. We can't. Spherical. Or really, we shouldn't accept. Sorry, spherical. We shouldn't accept either position until we found some concrete, conclusive evidence.
But then mainstream is putting it across as fact that it is a sphere. It's
obviously, don't read your newspapers, don't watch your televisions.
So obviously,
don't have anything to do with society.
That's questionable.
Mainstream society.
That's questionable.
Absolutely, of course, yeah.
You know, whereas the flat Earth kind of thinking and questioning is justified. You know, so and it's got to be flat.
It's got to be flat. You know, when you know the thing is that every flat earther should know that the Earth is flat, simply because of when you're talking to globe people. Yeah, because when you talk to globe people, they just don't make any sense.
Or Philip Schofield.
Or Philip Schofield as well. They just don't make sense. Well, okay, you're telling me gravity's holding the water, but how does it do it? And then they come out with nothing. But it's the same with, you know, and all of this kind of stuff just echoes throughout all of man's society. When we're talking about, you know, stuff in chemistry, when we're talking about stuff in you know, biology as well, you know, plant photosynthesis.
Go on, Pete, give it rise.
Yeah, come on.
Absolutely, yeah.
I was going to have a little jam with Astral.
Well, you could jam with Astral, yeah.
But mine's quiet, you see. Astral, can you take your strings off?
Does anybody want to? I do a great impersonation of. I do a great impersonation of Jerry Rafferty.
Go on then.
Does anybody want to see it?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on. Oh, don't worry, I haven't seen this, so I don't know what he's going to do.
No, go for it.
Wait there. Are you ready? This is. I'm sure. Have you all heard of Jerry Rafferty?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
You ready for this? What do you think?
That was good, wasn't it? Eh?
Nice.
Did you think that was cool?
Fantastic.
I mean, you know, I think it's brilliant.
Who needs stars in their eyes?
Absolutely, yeah. It's wonderful. But you know, I mean, it's quite nice to see. It's quite nice to see lots of developments in the flat Earth.
So what do you call yourselves then? Because to me, listening to you and what you've done in your experiments, and you show everybody, record them, you're scientists.
Well, I wouldn't call us scientists at all. Not really. I mean, I don't wear a lab coat all the time. I think I've only worn the lab coat once, twice.
No, you wore it out in Chester.
Yeah, well, yeah, I wore it out. I mean, when I was out with Vic first time, I'm sure I ended up wearing the lab coat and the wig and the nose, and when I look back at it, I'm thinking, I'm surprised I actually did it. You know, it's kind of. I had a lot of drive, you know, because you know when you realise the Earth's flat straight away, you're kind of like a lot of the time you want to tell the world.
Yeah.
Wow, you're telling me it's flat. Wow.
And then you realise how a lot of people just dislike it.
Yeah.
And then the weight of it's just like
absolutely. And then because you know a lot of people dislike it, you go and talk about it even more.
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah, because that pisses them off.
Because you know, I mean, I don't mind annoying people, but I like doing it in a nice way.
That blank fluoride stare.
so that people don't get too annoyed where they get violent.
Yeah, but we do have a good motto, and that is if somebody likes you, they will always like you. Doesn't matter what you do.
Doesn't matter what you do in life. You can do whatever. If somebody genuinely likes you, they will always like you.
Yeah,
and that is so true. Because I've experienced it myself. You know, I've met people in my life, and I thought to myself, yeah, they could cut off one of my legs, you know, but I still like them.
Yeah, they're still very nice people.
You know, but it's just. I think it's just great. Loads more people not watching television. Loads more people not going buying.
Yeah, and watching your channel.
I don't know about watching our channel, but
but we don't get
many views.
We don't get on our channel compared to others. But I mean, we focus more on quality rather than quantity.
Well, yeah, we'd much rather have subscribers who are genuinely interested rather than just
people who just subscribe to channels just because YouTube tells them to.
Absolutely, just people who subscribe and then they don't watch. Because there's probably lots of people who subscribe to channels but they don't watch the channel itself.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
I think that's just a waste of time.
We generally find that if you look at anyone's channel, I'd say there's roughly about a quarter of subscribers tend to watch videos. So if you go on someone's channel, like it's like Richie from Boston. Now his subscribers has increased by at least 70,000 people.
What's he on? 250?
He's on about 250,000 subscribers.
As far as
we're aware, astronomical he's a flat earther as well.
As far as we're aware, he's got the most subs
for an alternative.
Flat Earth. Yeah, he's a flat earther, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's got the most.
250,000 subs. But when you look at his videos, you could probably genuinely think, well, a quarter of those will watch his videos. So 60,000. So every video he puts out, roughly, I'm only saying roughly as a guide, 60,000 views.
Does he get 60,000 views? Or what day about?
Well, they kind of vary. 120 on one,
Oh, right. Okay.
But that's just a guide. That's just an average. That's something I've just noticed.
Absolutely, yeah.
Sorry, did you hear me? Sorry, I was saying, who was that you were talking about there and gets that many subs?
Oh, Richie from Boston.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, even Jeranism's up to 150,000,
which is quite a lot. We've got Rob Ski, but he's over. He's
increasing.
You can genuinely see that over the years, there's
over the past 6 months,
or even over the past 6 months, over the past year, even.
Yeah.
There's an increase in people wanting to find out about flat Earth.
Yeah.
It's becoming an increasingly talked about topic.
But if you're new to it, which is great, because there's lots of really good information out there. But if you're already in it and you've done it,
been there, got the t-shirt.
What's next?
What's next? Absolutely.
Exploration.
Where does flat Earth go?
Yeah.
Are people quite happy to live in a globe society?
What were you saying? What did you say, Nicholas?
No, it can only go one way. The only way is eventually is for exploration. It's the only way. I mean, you get to a point where, you know, that's it.
Yeah.
Exploration, but you need to be
exploration.
Pressurizing,
where though?
Pressuring governments.
Yeah,
but that requires a lot more people.
I mean, I tend to think
more people.
That's the
I
trouble.
tend to think that flat Earth. I can't see that much change in my lifetime.
No.
You know, I'm 49, so what?
Well, you don't know. Well, I think
30 years.
Yeah, but it's getting more exposure even in 3
getting
years.
more exposure, but but you've got to start changing societies as a whole. You've got to start changing politics, governments.
You've even got to change the way royalty thinks.
I think you hit the nail on the head there. That things need to change. That's for sure. But obviously, we need to grow even bigger than how big we are now. I don't know, but I mean, we're a lot of people. That's for sure. It's becoming more apparent. Even like everyday life now is becoming like, you know, I'm eating flat earthers. Well,
yeah, but it is. I think it is. It is developing. Yeah,
it's developing, obviously. But one of the things I get disheartened about, and that is, for example, it must have taken since the inception of the Labour Party. Okay, this is only an example, but since the inception of the Labour Party, it must have taken, as far as I'm aware,
nearly 100 years.
Nearly 100 years, or at least 70 years, just to bring in a national minimum wage. And I'm thinking, where have people been living in 70 odd years?
Yeah.
You know, the Labour Party were formed to support the worker as such. But okay, but why has it taken so long
for something as basic as
why did it take so long?
Minimum wage.
Why did it take so long for people to start manufacturing bread ties that you can actually open up? Yeah. In other words, what I'm saying, my point is that how long has it got to take for life to get easier for everyone?
Yeah.
How long has it got to take?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
This is my little.
But a lot of
take so long. You know,
but a lot of people don't want to have their lives made easier because a lot of people like to have a hard life.
They like the confusion.
Absolutely.
I mean, a lot of, like I've said, a lot of people love the Globe Society. They love them watching their TV. They love watching the sport. They love driving their car.
They love getting those phone calls from India.
Absolutely. They love going to work, you know, because work gives them a nice bit of sense of belonging, you know, and, you know, they love the money system. They love it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, even whether you're a flat earther or a Globie who loves the Globe Society, at the end of the day, you know, the Globe Society is rubbish.
Well, it could be a lot better.
Yeah, sorry, it could be a lot better, you know, and, you know.
Yeah, because it's a lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's why I'm a realist. You know, I like being just real. You know, if I don't see something happen, I'm not going to imagine it and think what it did happen, or think what it could happen. I'm just going to say it didn't happen.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to try and fool myself or kid myself. You know, because there's no point.
You're not going to go and watch a David Copperfield try and make the Statue of Liberty disappear.
I mean, how ridiculous!
And you're going to say,
magic shows.
"Wow, he's amazing!"
Absolutely, wow! Wish I could do magic like that. Wow!
And yet, it's only a trick. It's
a trick, yeah.
A contrivance.
It's like Dynamo. You know, there's a guy called Dynamo who's a young kind of magician, a trickster, and you know, a lot of people think, "Wow, that trick's really good." You know. Isn't it, mate? I wonder how he got the card on the outside of the window, you know, and yet everyone knows that it's just trickery. And, you know, why is it, you know, it's strange that people are putting so much wonderment and awe into trickery, and yet they fail to realize the beauty and the simplicity of life.
And that's exactly what it is about with us, isn't it? They've completely tricked us. It's trickery. All of it's trickery.
All trickery.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. One of the things we don't do, one of the things we totally avoid, and that is talks about the Illuminati.
Yeah, we don't.
You know, all of these all these other people, Freemasons, and all this. We tend not to do that because it doesn't interest us.
Not really. No.
Either way, you've got
we like something tangible.
Yeah, we like something tangible that we can actually do something with. Then people will believe us more or accept what we're trying to say. But another thing is, and that is, who runs the countries? That's something that at the moment out of our hands, isn't it? Well, we don't know. The people in the shadows,
Oh, well, yeah.
We can't. We can't.
We don't know who they are.
We don't know who they are. Blah blah blah. But it's just a case of.
But we know the Queen is the chairperson of the business.
Of the business, yeah. She's the chairperson of the business.
Yeah. She signs all the important documents.
That's her job. She's a signatory. What she does is she gives the go-ahead for whatever. Yeah, I'll sign there for you. Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to invest money somewhere. Okay. Can we have your signature, please, Liz? Okay, there we go. On behalf of the Crown Estate.
Yeah, but that's how it works.
That's how it works. It's the big business in the country is the Crown Estate. The Crown Estate own absolutely everything in our understanding.
Yeah.
And the Queen is the managing director. The CEO.
It only owns things that it hasn't made. Or it hasn't created. Like a BMW car is owned by BMW.
Oh, now a BMW car would be owned by BMW. Yeah. Nobody, if you bought a BMW car, you do not own it. So the guy who can't get the BMW car in his garage doesn't own his car.
Absolutely. Yeah. He thinks he does.
He thinks he does, but he doesn't because BMW have put their mark on the vehicle.
Cool.
It's theirs. Yeah. It always will be.
Isn't it strange how? Where's your thing?
What thing?
Isn't it strange?
My gadget, my little gadget.
This gadget here.
This gadget.
Yeah. Well, let me just.
What do you want? Do you want the battery?
No. This gadget here. This oxygen analyzer. Yeah. If something goes wrong with it, or it's no longer, or it needs to be binned or whatever, you can send it back to the manufacturer.
Absolutely. Or if something goes wrong with the sensor, you can send it back to the manufacturer.
Because it's
theirs.
It's theirs. They own it.
They own it because it's
they have the obligation to dispose of it.
Absolutely. So if you buy a pair of shoes and they're worn out, really you should send them back to the place you bought them from.
Or to Nike.
Thanks
very much very much for allowing me to wear your trainers out.
It's their property.
It's theirs.
People have in our understanding, people do have a skewed understanding of ownership.
Yeah.
Because even though we live in a capitalist society, it's no different to living in a communist society. There's no difference. It's like these are just our opinions, by the way. Some people will agree, some people won't. That's fine. I'm not out to please everybody, but if you think about nationalisation, when you look at trains, for example, the railways, if you have whether you have it nationalised or whether you have it privatised, wouldn't make no difference. Wouldn't make any difference whatsoever. Because you still have the services, you still have the the quality, the standard. You still get new stock.
Yeah, because for the simple reason is that the people who actually own the railways still have control of them.
Absolutely, will still have control.
Because at the moment, all they've done is they've tendered out, they franchised out certain parts, lines.
Absolutely,
in the country.
Because
that's all they've done.
Yeah, if you think about it logically,
these private companies, Virgin, TransPennine, they have to run trains according to legislation
that's been set out by government. So there's
no different to nationalisation.
Absolutely. But the thing is that it does create a few more jobs because you got more flotation on the market. You can put something on the company on the market. People can buy shares.
Yeah, people can buy shares.
It creates all of this new money.
Yeah,
it creates new money. It creates jobs for people. But it's no different. There's no difference. It's just how you want to perceive it.
Yeah, I know.
Because one thing I'm beginning to realise, and that is life. It's all about the way you perceive things, how you observe, like your chemical reaction between, aluminium and sodium hydroxide, for example, or how you see the council work in your area,
or whether you want to see whether you want to interpret manganese 4 oxide as manganese dioxide.
Absolutely. It all depends how you want to perceive it, because the trouble with this society, and that is there's so much that is there's so much ambiguity. There's so much information that is contradictory, that's in conflict with another piece of information. There's so much confusion that it's very, very difficult for everyone, to formulate concrete opinions and views that are true
and of the same,
and that are the same
as other people.
Because how can if you're it's
a bit similar.
It's like looking at the color red. And most people would agree that that's a color red. If you hold up something that's red, I'm trying to think, or even something that's another color. Wait there.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to find. Yeah, I mean, everyone can see that that's yellow. Wait there. Yeah, everyone can see that that's yellow. This is yellow with a green border, kind of thing. But lots of people will agree with that. But when you go into society and you look at a lot of the stuff that's in society, there's so much conflict. No, that's not yellow. No, that's a shade of yellow, or that's ochre, or this or that. And you think, hold on a minute, but it's yellow. Yeah, and this is one of the big problems with society, and that is a lot of people can't agree on the same thing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and this is what causes.
And yet we're all human.
This is what causes divisions.
This is what causes divisions. So, in our understanding, too much focus is spent on our differences rather than our samenesses. Essentially, because we're all human beings. We've all got something in common. Okay, we all breathe, we all poo, we all eat, we all reproduce, we all do this.
We all have the ability to love. And it's these kind of things that people really do need to hone in on.
Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter whether you're a flat earther, globe earther, or whatever you're affiliated to, or whatever your views are. At the end of the day, if you're not going to have or share your connection to other people, then you may as well not have a
connection at all.
Not have a connection at all. You may as well go and live a lonely life.
Yeah. But the trouble is with this society, with the globe society, and that is it gets people to focus more on the individual, what the individual presents itself, how it presents itself to other people, not what's inside.
That's probably why our channel is more for the individual, because we know people in this society at the moment and the way they are individuals. If you know what I mean. It just fits the hole. Fits that slot. Suits it. Fills the hole. But absolutely. So what do you guys think? Where do you think flat Earth will be in 5 years' time?
It's hard to tell, isn't it?
It is. It really is, isn't it? It's very hard to tell where it's going to be, because
it just seems to go around in circles all the time, just amongst so many other channels that are just so sort of involved in their drama, or just looking for that non-existent curvature. Like you said before, it's just endless going round and round in circles. It just needs masses. We just need more people to realise, but people are so ignorant, they just don't want to know. They just don't want to know.
Yeah, I went when I went out with when I was out with Vic last time. I mean, I get good vibes when I'm out in the street, but I kind of like get a realistic picture from people, get some good feedback. But I got talking to one guy before we set up, and he was an elderly type of guy, maybe about 50, I think, or 56, well, 60 actually, probably retired anyway. And he was saying to me, what's this all about? All this, and got into a little debacle with him about the globe Earth, the flat Earth. And I'm saying, but there's no curvature. You got to prove what he's telling me is true and all this lot. So he kind of like seceded to my the fact that he hasn't got any proof and he can't show me any proof. And then he said to me, I do admire what you're doing, you know. And I kind of like said, well, somebody's got to wake them up. Somebody's just got to be there at that moment in time, just to tell people that their life, a lot of it, is a lie.
Yeah.
You know, they've got to just know that, you know, just for that bit of time. You know, I'm not saying that, you know, I had to be there all the time, all day and everything.
Yeah,
but
just
people
being
just need, just being there, people just need a reminder. But people look at flat Earth and they think, okay, you know, there's some merit in it, obviously, because there's, you know, all these people just can't be that whatever, you know. But when they look at the Globe Society, okay, they think to themselves, well, okay, I've been lied to. I know it's all rubbish, but what else is there? You know, people are quite happy that they've got, you know, they've got their job. They're happy that they've got the money coming.
They can drive their car.
They can drive their car. They're happy that
it's such a limited mentality, isn't it? It's just not.
Yeah, but I'll tell you something. You know, you try breaking it down. You know, I was saying to Vic, you can take someone, okay, to the edge and show them the dome.
Oh, if you could,
obviously, if you could do it, you could take a Globie to the edge, show them the dome.
Even knock on it.
You know, knock on the dome. Look, here's the bloody dome. You know, and they'll still try and deny its existence.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. You know, it's it's crazy. Which because every flat earther should start to realize that in the society we're living in, human beings are demented.
Yeah.
Well,
that's so I think one thing with
nobody can escape
varying levels of dementia, really.
Varying levels of dementia. Yeah. I mean, you could be in a job, whatever.
Why do you think some people have woken up and others haven't then?
Yeah.
I reckon if my opinion on that is that some people have gone through a certain situation in life where they've seen a different side to life. Basically,
I think we've all just questioned things all our lives. I always have. I don't know.
Well, I never used to. I never used to question stuff. Well, sorry, no. Now we can go into it quite. See, a lot of people think that we're deep. A lot of people think I'm deep, but a lot of it's on the surface because it is anyway.
It's just the way we look at it.
It's just the way we look at it. But I mean, in my understanding, you've got. I mean, we have thought we've chatted about this, haven't we? And you know, there's a lot of hard done by people out there. There's an awful lot of hard done by people. I'm hard done by.
Yeah, I am.
Okay, I hold my hand. And you know, I would say this is my opinion, okay, but I genuinely find a lot of flat earthers are hard done by people who are willing to actually voice their hard done by ness, frustrations, whatever you want to call it, out on society because they've realised that they're not happy in this society, the Globe Society. Okay, it's let them down.
Yeah, it's let them down.
Let them down big time. It's let me down big time, I'll tell you. And at the end of the day, you know, the other people, the Globe people, a lot of them are too scared to go cross the line. Okay, a lot of Globe people, or flat earthers who like the Globe Society, okay, like the Globe Society because they think to themselves, what else is there? Okay, well, we all think that the Earth's flat. Okay, well, how are we going to change things? See, this is the big problem that flat Earth has got in a sense, because it's okay for telling everyone being in the street, yeah, the Earth's flat, and all this lot. But okay,
what next?
What next? I mean, where do we go from that? Okay, we've explored. We found out that we can't go you know, we can't go to the South Pole because there is no South Pole. We've, you know, been to Antarctica.
We've reached the dome. We've reached the edge.
Or yeah, we've actually found. Let's say we found the edge. We've gone as far as we possibly can.
Yeah.
We haven't found anything other than ourselves. Where do we go as a species? You know, this is a big question. You know, I mean, I know it's a very straightforward question to ask, but it's a very big question when you're looking at the whole of mankind.
Yeah.
Where does it go? You know,
where can it go? I mean, really?
it's absolutely, because you know, even humankind's going around in a circle as well. You know, I mean, we had we were talking about I've got a cold, but we were talking about what were we talking about earlier, where we were talking about they were bringing in in chemistry. What we've started to see is the kind of like the chemical symbol 2H2O, haven't we?
2H2O.
2H2O, yeah. And we're thinking, what's all this about? You know, 2H2O.
Yeah.
And what we've come to realise, and that is one of the things that society is very, very scared of, is stagnation. Now, it's so easy to stagnate for a society to stagnate.
And even for an individual.
To stagnate in their life. Right. Now, we think that a lot of this rubbish that comes out, you know, in our sciences or in our technology and all this lot, or in the government administration and all this lot, you know, is only there just to revitalize, keep
things moving,
to give the impression that things are moving, things are changing,
things are developing.
But the thing is that nothing develops, nothing changes. Human beings are exactly the same as what they've been for the past 3,000 odd years.
Yeah.
And you know, human beings aren't going to change even in 2,000 years time.
No.
So
let's be hopeful.
Well, I'd hope that when you're looking at, we're only looking at human behavior and human emotions. Okay. I was talking to somebody when I was out with Vic the other day, and he said, I was saying to him something like this, because he was saying he was a globie, and he was saying to me that things have changed an awful lot, you know, blah, 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 blah. And I'm saying to him, but nothing's changed. You know, the way you feel happiness now is the same as how you'd feel it in 3,000 years ago. So, you know, nothing's changed for your life experience.
The human
experience of life. And, you know, this is the problem. And that is a lot of people, whether you're a globie, whether you're a flat earther and you like the Globe Society, or even if you're a flat earther, and that is that you've got to face that reality, that, you know, that truth.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of, that's the big problem.
Yeah, because everybody at some point in their life will realise that they are human. And at some point in their life, they're going to die.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to pop off sometime, 20 years, 30 years, maybe.
That is the reality.
Absolutely.
A lot of people, this is why the Globe Society doesn't educate people on.
Do you know what they've done to us, though, haven't they? They've made sure that a lot of society isn't responsible for itself. It doesn't. They've taught everybody not to be responsible for themselves. Once you start learning to be responsible for yourself, then you can get to know who you are and, you know, yourself personally, and it goes on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I totally agree with that. I mean,
you can cope more with the reality of life.
It took me until I was 30 to actually reach a point in my life where I could think to myself, I know who I am. Yeah, and I'm thinking, hold on a minute, you know, I should have been like that when I was younger. You know, but, you know, absolutely, you know, and all of those years just totally wasted. And you know, so when I go and see this guy on Tuesday with Vic, I'm going to ask him, see if he's got any money for me, because I want my money back.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, he won't have any money for you.
Oh, I see. But you know, I mean, I've got no intention. I've got no intention of. I've been told he's a nice guy, so I'm not going to you know, I've got no intention of having a go at him or anything like this. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Being nasty or anything, you know. I'll be very
diplomatic.
Very diplomatic. But it's great, I suppose, because where we are, I mean, it's a very royalist city. It's Chester, and there's a lot of people who've got their heads up their backsides, and it's so nice because I've always found that local rags, your free papers, are all council supported. They're all supported by the council, wherever you live, obviously, and it'll be like you know, it'll be quite interesting to see the
why
what transpires from it.
Well, because you have to ask yourself why are they actually contacting us
why
as a group? Why?
Absolutely.
What's made them? What's initiated? And even I've said it could be because they don't want Pete here on the streets.
Talking about flat Earth. Because a lot of people just don't like it.
Yeah.
I'm getting on people's nerves.
Because people go in there and they think, oh, is that flat earther again? Is there any chance he can talk about flat earth somewhere else, not on the streets? Go on, Mr. Reporter, can you go and interview them and see if they can get a group meeting somewhere in some hall?
Can't he do that somewhere else? Can't he do that somewhere else?
Take that nonsense somewhere else.
Absolutely. Can't he do that somewhere else?
Yeah.
Mate, get him. Put an ad in the paper so that he gets a little room somewhere.
Community hall.
Something goes somewhere else. We're fed up of hearing him. It's rubbish. But this is what people are like, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's the human element, and you know, I've mentioned it before, and that is, I think that, you know, as soon as you start, I think as soon as you get in my understanding, flat earthers should realize and should have learned from the Globe Society all of its ills, and you know, should really set a good example. I mean, it
should have changed you, shouldn't it? Because you've changing your outlook.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've grown. You're learning. It should change, but a lot of people are still narcissistic. They are. I'm sorry, and they have bred a society that's narcissistic. Look at all the soap operas. Look at the news. Just look at everything.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I watched Dave Murphy.
Ego.
Sorry.
It's all ego. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, there was Dave Murphy, because he appeared on here, didn't he? Was it?
Yeah, Dave Murphy. He's been here, yeah.
Yeah, Dave Murphy, yeah. Now, Dave Murphy comes across to me as a very placid guy. You know,
he couldn't be angry.
He wouldn't even hurt a fly.
Yeah.
You know. So, you know, you tend to think to yourself, well, you know, if everyone was like him, there'd be no hassles in life.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
you know, it's because he's got a very good temperament. You know, and I do find that there are an awful lot of true flat earthers out there who very, very much share that same quality, have that quality in them.
Yeah.
When I look at Darren Nesbitt, he's got it. You know, Jeranism, he's got it. You know,
Mark Sargent, he's quite.
You know,
placid.
they've all got this kind of air about them that is just. Well, I'm not. You know, I'm easygoing.
Easygoing.
You know.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah,
just calm.
And it's just so nice to have that. But you've got to be able to express that all the time, like when you're dealing with other people,
especially globies
as well. You know, there's no point in, well, to be, you know, I've taken very little seriously in my life, because I mean, what's the point? You know, 49. What is the point of taking anything seriously?
Yeah.
Especially when you're living in a society that's filled with rubbish.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense.
Well, how can you take the voting system?
I can't take the voting system seriously. I have a knock on the door, it's my counsellor. I mean, I'm not going to laugh in his face, but I'm not going to take him seriously, am I?
Yeah.
Because it's a joke.
Yeah.
You know, and even if the police pulled me over, you know, or whatever, am I going to take it seriously? No. You know, I'll be quite jovial about it and quite light-hearted about it, because I can't. You know, why get serious and worked up and, you know, waste all of that
Yeah.
Waste all of that positive energy and turn it into negative stuff.
I reckon the guy who's bought his new BMW car, who can't get it in the garage, is worried about it, leaving it outside.
Yeah, you see, all that worry,
thinking about
all that worry could have been avoided by buying a Mini. If he'd have bought a smaller car, a Fiat or Mini, something practical.
Yeah,
but no,
he could have got a smart car.
He wants to impress his girlfriend. He's got a nice flash black car. He wants to look good down the street, and obviously when he goes to work, wants to look good. And yet he can't get the car in his garage.
Yeah, I know.
What a load of nonsense.
It's crazy.
None of those things are bad, are they? But the thing that's lost is that human part, the people, about caring, about love, communication. None of that's in there anymore. It's all about things.
Well, one thing I've noticed that's really missing is consideration.
Yeah, consideration
for other people.
Consideration.
You could be walking along the street. You could be doing this. I was in Tesco's a couple of weeks ago, and during the daytime, and the word that I heard most from people as I was walking through the store was sorry, because people were knocking into one another. Sorry, sorry. It's crazy.
Yeah. But can I interject there, please?
Go on,
Peter.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
We as English, right? Even if it's your fault or the other person's, will say sorry. So if you jump into someone else, bounce into someone else, you'll say sorry. The other person will also say sorry.
Yeah.
But
even if it's not my fault, I'll say sorry.
Yeah.
What we do.
But you have to ask yourself, why are people saying sorry?
Oh, right, yeah.
And you also have to ask yourself, if people were more considerate of other people, there wouldn't be any need to say sorry.
Right.
Yeah, I was in the swimming pool couple of days ago, a week or last week or sometime, and this obviously it was just been summer holidays for the kids, and I was swimming up and down, and like this kid, he kind of like I can't remember exactly what he did, but he got in my way. I had to stop, and he said, "Oh, sorry about that," and I'm thinking, hold on a minute, if you didn't do it, you wouldn't have had to have said sorry. You're in other words, just by saying sorry doesn't cut the cake.
Yeah. Because he's not being considerate of other people.
Absolutely. I mean, and these people are going to school. They're going to school. They're being educated.
Yeah. They're not being educated how to be considerate.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, really. I mean, Vic and myself should be outside of school with my oxygen analyzer.
Oh, right, yeah. And Vic's flat earth.
We should be writing a letter.
You should be in the schools.
Absolutely.
We should be in the school, in their greenhouse, looking for oxygen. On the hunt for oxygen. Yeah. And that's quite a good one. On the hunt for oxygen.
Oh, we could start the video.
I mean, can you imagine seeing someone walking around a town with a placard saying "On the hunt for oxygen"? And you see him with a little device.
Oh, well, yeah, and you could walk up the high street shopping.
Absolutely, yeah, of course, yeah.
Absolutely, and you can ask people.
Yeah, can you tell me where the oxygen
is? Can you tell me where the oxygen is?
My device here is reading 21%.
Did you know that these oxygen analyzers, you have to calibrate them?
Yep.
You would have thought that you just get them out of the box.
Absolutely. The more you start looking
switch
into
it on,
stuff, you'll start realizing.
Sense it. It's all rubbish. A bit like a Geiger counter. Oh, got 21% there. Oh,
you would have
put it in some oxygen in a bottle. Oh, got 100% there. But no, you have to calibrate them.
You would have thought that you'd just get it out of the box, bung the batteries in, switch it on, and it will tell you straight away, oh, look, 21%. Well, I'm in my living room. What do you expect?
It's been set by the factory.
Absolutely. It's been factory set. But unfortunately, these don't work like that. I was talking to somebody today, and I said to him, I've got the oxygen analyzer. And he said to me, he asked me something. And I said to him, no, they don't work like that. They don't detect oxygen.
Yeah.
I remember doing a video. We did a video long time ago about.
He probably thought, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, he probably did. Yeah, but we did a video a long time ago about are orbiting satellites real? I mean, I think it's a pretty all right video. It gives out some nice information about all satellites, orbiting satellites. Satellite dishes, really. And that we featured a video that some guy did, a satellite
finder.
No, a satellite installer.
Satellite guy.
Yeah, the satellite guy. And he actually used this little device called a satellite finder. Okay. Now, the biggest problem I had with that video, with his video, was that device didn't find a satellite. But it's called a satellite finder. And I think, hold on a minute. There's something wrong here. You know, it's either a satellite finder or it's not a satellite finder. And if you're not finding satellites, that's obviously not a satellite finder.
Yeah, and after he was tweaking his dish, what you realise the device actually is a signal.
It's a signal finder. It's more of a signal finder,
not a satellite finder.
Absolutely. So when we look at our CO2 detectors, when we look at our oxygen analyzers, when we look at our
other instruments
that man has made, you know, we have to really question whether they do
what are they actually detecting.
What are they actually detecting, and how do they detect the things that they're supposed to detect?
Yeah,
because in our understanding, you know, it's all man-made. All of the
instruments,
all of the information that you've got inside your head has been given to you by other people.
Yeah,
or a lot of it, and you've got a lot of the time you've got to get rid of it.
And the oxygen.
Yeah, we've just been programmed, haven't we?
Yeah, basically.
Absolutely, yeah.
And the oxygen is man-made.
Even the oxygen,
so man will make an instrument.
Gas.
Man will make an instrument to detect that gas that he's made.
Well, he hasn't. Well,
not detect, but to determine its
presence.
Its presence.
Absolutely,
because man's made that gas. Man knows its properties, so man can make a piece of equipment.
What you mean to say is that because man can kind of like create oxygen, he knows its density, he knows its
properties.
He knows how much it would its pressure given a certain temperature. He knows how much it would weigh. He knows how much it would do this and do that. So he can build around from those ideas based on oxygen. He can build around a device that can help him detect that gas when it's present.
Yeah,
that's
how it works.
No, I mean, we do intend to put it through its paces.
Yeah,
over the next.
Well, it could be wrong. Could be wrong.
And from the information we've looked at, you know, it doesn't detect.
It's not looking good.
It's not an oxygen detector.
It
doesn't do that.
Yeah.
It's an oxygen analyzer. But how it works is totally different to what people think it works. But we're gonna play around with it. Because it'd be great, you know. But if you can debunk oxygen analyzers, then you know all the rest of them are rubbish.
Absolutely.
The CO2, whatever you've got. I mean, somebody said to us once that we should get a hold of a Geiger counter. And actually play around with that.
Yeah.
And maybe we should get a hold of one.
Well, it's amazing because when you read stories in the Guardian that reads that wildlife is thriving at Chernobyl.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, it kind of makes you think, you know,
especially only after 30 years of disaster.
Yeah.
Well, I saw a video that if you lived 5 miles one side of it, you can live there, but you can't live on the other side of it 5 miles. I mean, how can that be?
Oh, are you talking Chernobyl?
Yeah.
It all sounds a bit fishy to me.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it all.
I really don't know.
Make sense.
Maybe they've built a very large nudist camp there. I mean, I don't know. You know, I mean, the trouble is with this society, and that is you're given so much information, newspapers, online, on your TV, all this, and from other people as well, and yet you can't verify any of it or a lot of it. You can't verify for yourself whether it's true. So you know,
it's really frustrating.
So that you're
very
left
frustrating.
Thinking. Yeah.
And a lot of the time you're left thinking, well, is it true? You're left in a confused state.
So, yeah.
So my advice to anyone who gets presented with any information that is like that is to basically not accept it at all.
Yeah.
Just don't accept it to be true at all, because, it should be true. If you want truth in your life, then, you'll have that.
Well, you got to live.
You need to experience it yourself to realize your own truth.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, some people would say to us, well, so what you're saying is just because you haven't been to Australia, you're saying it doesn't exist. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have actually exchanged comments like this with other people, but what you're essentially saying is that it's likely that Australia does exist. It's likely, but you don't need to go there to prove that it exists. You don't need to talk to an Australian person.
You know that you can verify.
You know that you can do it whenever you wanted to
and go there.
But people can't go to the moon. They can't go to Antarctica.
Can't go to Chernobyl.
They can't go to Chernobyl. We can't go into government and actually have a look at how it operates. We can't go into the local council to find out and go into the finance director's office to see what their finances actually are. We can't do that.
Yeah.
We can't go to many places in this society.
Yeah.
So how do we know what's going on behind closed doors? We don't know.
Yeah.
They could all be playing bingo.
Yeah.
At your local council.
They probably are.
I mean, who knows?
Well, I think they are, because the ombudsman is a waste of time.
Absolutely, yeah. They could be playing bingo. They could be getting up to all sorts.
Yeah.
You don't know. Maybe even some dark black magic
rituals. Yeah.
I mean, who knows? I mean,
or they're just having parties and getting pissed up.
Absolutely, getting parties and getting pissed up.
More like it.
Taxpayers' money.
On taxpayers' money. Absolutely.
No, on their money.
On their money, of course.
Yeah, expensive dinners.
Yeah.
Expensive dinners, but it's,
coffee.
I think it needs to get to a point where a lot of people are just fed up with it, before anything gets done. Younger generation coming in, a lot of these people aren't watching television. That they take an awful lot of flat earth leaflets from us when we're out. Younger people are going into flat earth more, I'm sure, because they're liking the alternative, because they know that what they're given, deep down inside, I'm sure they know unconsciously that it's a load of rubbish.
Yeah, well, they've only got to look at the older generation,
and and think, oh God, I don't want to end up like
them.
Absolutely, yeah, like that. But it's that really. So I mean, things will obviously change, but I mean, it's going to take a long time.
Well,
for the future, right? I know that you're making videos and you do hangouts and yourself, you're for your own channel, but and you've got the videos of it. But will you be writing a book about it, all these experiments, so that you can take them to schools?
Yeah, totally.
Take them where?
To school.
School.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have us anywhere near a school.
No.
You've got to be joking.
Yeah.
I
meant for the future. If we start changing and flat Earth's really, like, in the main bit, going to start really happening, because it's starting to pop up on lots. I think Big Brother. Those other places, it's beginning to be a word that's mentioned. So hopefully, You'll be in history then with these books. There it all is.
Maybe.
Someone left a comment and suggested
that we write a book.
Yeah,
just on our ideas.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a possibility. I think it's having you've got the time. We can do it. It's something that is doable. We can do.
But is it something
it's having the desire? Is it something we want to do? That's the big thing, because when you get to a point in life like being 49 and you get to know who you are, you get more in tune with what you truly want to do, rather than carrying out the whims of other people. And I mean, we've thought about it, and is it something we really want to do? I
mean, they are even. Well, I mean, even I would agree that they are interesting and justifiable ideas
Absolutely,
that we've come up with, which, you know.
Oh yeah, but all they do is change people's perceptions. I don't think, you know, I don't think it's possible that we could ever. I don't think it's possible we could ever discover something that's wow.
Yeah, I know.
Wow, that's amazing.
We couldn't discover the philosopher's stone.
Can I say something? I thought
Yeah.
when I realised through watching one of your videos what you were saying about these subjects, I was wowed. You made me feel wowed.
All right, yeah, but
I was wowed by the toast. I was like, oh, I like that. Yeah, the toast. The water,
oh, the toast, yeah.
Yeah, but somebody left a comment saying that the water came from the bread.
Yeah, the water came from the bread and it condensated on
the plate. Now, we use that to our advantage because what it made us then realise is that you've got to put the water in
the bread
to get it out.
And you know, these people can't seem to understand that in order to get something out of something, you've got to put it in the first place.
That's how it works.
And this is the wonderful thing about we're getting back to this wonderful, wonderful topic of water not being H2O. Because at the end of the day, I've yet to see somebody get new liquid water created from hydrogen and oxygen where there's no water present at all. Now that would be the philosopher's stone.
Oh, I am creating water.
Actually creating water. You know, and this is the thing. Now, when you think about it logically, human beings, okay, when you look at their society, it's all built around what humans can do with nature. You know what man can do with metals, what man can do with ores,
a lot of it is governed by money.
A lot of it's governed by money as well,
because man will only do, like, I'm sure, for example, I mean, it could be wrong, but I'm sure every person who buys a gas boiler now, it has to be a condensing boiler, and the only reason that we can think of why that is now is because they put in more water vapor in natural gas. So you need a boiler that can cope with the additional amounts of condensation
that will occur
when
through the combustion.
So all these boiler manufacturers have had to change all their boilers so to be able to use the new fuel, if I can use that term. But they're putting in more water to pack out the gas, so they're using less gas.
Sorry, guys, can I just interrupt you there? There's an easy way of testing out what you're thinking, and that's just to go look at the patents for these boilers to see what the process is or what they expect to get out of this, you know, when it's like but they're called condensation,
but they're called condensing boilers. What's condensing?
Yeah, exactly, you can't. But in their description, they must be describing something, what it's used for.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we could do that. Yeah. We could do that. But I mean, great suggestion. But we know that there's water in the pipework.
We've seen plenty of information.
Yeah, we've seen plenty of information for us to come to the informed decision that there is the moisture when you burn the gas only develops because the moisture's, a lot of it is actually in the gas or comes along with the gas in the pipework. You know, but the thing is, the point I was trying to make, and that is man builds his world and tells everyone, you know, teaches everyone about how he builds and constructs his world. Okay, so it's not, the education we get is not based upon nature, which is what it should be, but it's based upon what man can do with man's interaction with nature. And the thing is with the water, H2O, and that is this is, you know, this is another understanding to make me even fully fledged person to think that water is not hydrogen and oxygen. And that's the fact, like we said earlier, and that is what man is essentially saying by saying that water is H2O, hydrogen and oxygen, is he's telling people that he can actually create water. He can actually create a substance. Okay. He can create, he is the master of nature. But the trouble is that when he can't demonstrate that, he can't show to anyone that water, if you react hydrogen and oxygen without the presence of water, you will get new liquid water. Man is conceited to ever think that he can be higher than nature. And when you really do think about the whole process, that, you know, and the understanding of water, you know, it's ridiculous to ever think that human beings can even consider themselves to be greater than nature. You know, I mean, it's ridiculous. You know, this is why water doesn't contain hydrogen and oxygen. It's a load of rubbish at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Water's water. Water. So when we did the video with our with the gas, with the natural gas and the gas stove, what we're beginning to understand about water, and that is water can exist simply as air. You know, and you know, we did a video ages ago about water, air, water, and at the end of the day, when you really do just put, you know, just think about it logically and rationally,
and look at the world
and
around
sensibly, really look at the world around you. Look at the observations. We see it rain. You know, there's water everywhere. A lot of it's, you know, pure, clean water. You know, not much impurity in the water. Sun comes out, evaporates. We can see the vapor coming off. You know, rising up. You know, and it's all gone. It's all gone. Water's gone. Where's it go? You know, we know there's water vapor in the air. Water, there's moisture. There's moisture in the rooms. You know, whenever we go out the front door, there's moisture there. But you know, if we were to go high enough, you know, there's got to be a place where there's none whatsoever. There's just air. And so we've come to the conclusion that air and water, exactly the same kind of stuff. Water's liquid, air is the gas, and in water you get impurities. Okay, so when you go out and you look at your water and you see it's mucky, that's because of the impurities in the water. And when you in the air, you've got impurities in the air. You other gases, hydrogen, sulfide, and all this. But it's just such a simple way of actually looking at it that you don't need to be intelligent to be able to understand how it all works. You know.
Oh, and the process between air and water is evaporation.
And condensation. You know, it's so simple. You know, like I say, you don't need to be intelligent to understand all this stuff. You know, but man comes along and he ruins a very simple understanding that's very close to our nature. Okay, and he starts telling people that water is hydrogen and oxygen. You can't demonstrate it at all to anyone. But what he's actually doing is that he's educating people. And the rest of the people, you know, the elders are educating the rest of the people in the globe society that man can create something from nothing, from something else. He can create something new that has never existed before in that form. And that, to me, is the letdown of water being hydrogen and oxygen, because human beings cannot make something new. Because that goes against conservation of mass, goes against the conservation of energy. It goes against a lot of the scientific understanding that, you know, that's been developed over hundreds of years.
It's like the guy with the big car being able to get it into a smaller garage.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, human beings cannot create something new.
No.
They can only
he can only transform
Transform
things that already are in existence into this different
Yeah,
thing.
it's
That's
like
all he does.
nobody.
When you look at your elements, when you look at your, your compounds and everything,
even ideas are just secondhand.
Absolutely, ideas are just secondhand. There's no such thing as a new idea, and it's just ridiculous for anyone to ever think that water is hydrogen oxygen. It's just ridiculous. It's crazy, absolutely insane. You've got to be insane to think that way.
Yeah.
And when I talk to people now and I look at them, I suppose some of me I feel sorry for them because I know that they're being led up the garden path
under the spell.
Yeah,
that's all it is. Yeah,
it's just crazy. But hey ho, we're in the globe society. There's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of rubbish.
A lot of confusion.
Did you believe it was all those things though until you did your experiments?
Say that again, Karen.
Did you believe the things that you're saying that if everybody believes that, then they're crazy? But did you used to believe that until you did your own experiments?
Yeah, but it's kind of like saying, did you really think the Earth was a ball? Because I never used to think the Earth was a spinning ball. I never used to think that way. I never used to
what
think.
you're saying is you already knew these things. You've just done the experiments to show everybody, to prove to everybody.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I'm sure everybody knows that plants don't give off oxygen. I'm sure everybody knows deep down inside that water is water.
It's like it's like man's created through his education, through the world he's created,
his interaction,
a facade. If I can call it a facade,
it's a pretense, it's a show. It's
part of that facade is that plants release oxygen. Water is H2O. Rockets can go into space.
So it's endless,
it's all
isn't
part
it?
of the facade, but underneath it, water's not H2O. Plants don't give off oxygen.
Rockets don't go to space.
Rockets don't go into space.
There is no space as they know it, or they tell us it.
It's all, and I suppose it's that crossover between a lot of flat earthers should be on this kind of level, not in that facade. And I suppose a lot of it ties in with whether you want to be an individual or whether you want to project your facade. What do you want to be? Do you want to be an individual where you can express your feelings and be yourself, or present yourself as some false
individual?
False individual.
Yeah, I mean that's basic. That is the crux of the whole lot of it at the end of the day, and that is, how do you, as an individual, want to live your life? Do you want to live your life with the truth, living with the truth, being kind of at one with the truth?
Yeah, being able to speak your mind.
Being able to, because I mean, we came across a Mahatma Gandhi quote some time ago, and it basically said, doesn't matter if you're in the minority of one, the truth is still the truth. But the bit before that was like, if you know you're right, speak your mind. Speak your mind.
Speak your mind.
And I have to admit, I always will use that as guidance in my life when I'm faced with a situation and I'm thinking to myself, no, shall I say, shall I not say? I'll be thinking, no, speak your mind. If you know it's true, speak your mind. So when I talk to, with Vic on Tuesday, this chief reporter on Tuesday, I'm going to think to myself, no, I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to speak my mind. I'm not going to lie or pretend or this or that. I'm just going to be myself, and I'm just going to speak my mind.
Yeah, and be yourself.
Be myself.
Yeah.
And it's because
he will value that more.
He will respect that.
Yeah,
an awful lot, because I meet a lot of people who are very pretentious in life, and I'm sure he does too. But when you're faced with someone who's very, very, very genuine, you know, it's kind of like
a breath of fresh air.
A breath of fresh air.
Nice.
It's nice. It's nice. You know, I mean, yeah, absolutely. It's so relaxing and therapeutic to actually meet someone who is genuine and authenticity. In the globe society
is very rare.
It's very, very rare indeed. You know, you there's so much confusion. You know, and people don't know who they are as individuals. You know, and blah blah blah. You know, I mean, it's just, but authenticity. I think. I mean, I've done some life coaching some time ago, and I did some cosmic ordering, which was quite good. And the tutor on the course, she was saying that authenticity is such a lovely word, and you know, even I would always not recommend. I would
promote.
I'd always recommend even for people to be authentic to themselves and to other people. Now, there's obviously an awful lot of people who lie and cheat and steal and do all these kind of nasty things, but you know, that's down to them. You know. But essentially, you know, I think you can get more. I think you can feel a lot better inside yourself if you are truer to yourself and you're not lying to yourself about things. You know, I think you can cope with things better as well.
I agree.
As well.
Absolutely, you know, but you know, yeah, absolutely. And it's an individual thing, though, isn't it?
And he did that without mentioning any religious connotation.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, religion.
Wasn't
I mean,
great?
I mean, I know flat Earth. There are a lot of flat earthers who are religious, but I mean, you know, come on, you know, it does annoy me a little bit, but you know, hey, you know, if they want to believe, you know, because you've got to believe in a God. Okay, so you may as well. But why don't they believe in the globe? There's no difference.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I agree.
You know, I mean, I don't believe in flat Earth. I just know the Earth is flat, given what my senses tell me. Because I don't see curvature. Don't need to believe in anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, there you go. That's. I think that's round one over with. Don't you think?
I certainly do.
Absolutely.
Oh, it's been really great. I really enjoyed it. I just love all your words.
Well, I'm sure I'm dying to let everyone know how we're going to get on with this oxygen analyzer because we're going to have Globies leaving comments.
Oh right, yeah.
I'm sure the length of my arm.
Yeah,
because they're gonna.
They'll all be saying, "I can't believe this guy's doing this."
Absolutely, of course, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
We got to shut his channel down.
Absolutely, we got to do something. You know. Sure, but
well, there's loads of us that are really happy that you're there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Well, I think we
do.
We don't intentionally go out to annoy people, but we just give our take on stuff, don't we? Really?
Oh yeah. I mean, but it is different. It is.
Yeah, but I think, to be honest with you, I think a lot of people do need it. Honestly, a lot of people do need it because it keeps just like with me and Vic being on the street. It's just that little reminder that people get. You know, that little reminder. Yeah, you know, you've been told a crock of, you know, whatever. It's that little reminder.
Oh, well, yeah.
It's the same with our videos. It's just that little reminder for people that they do live in reality.
Oh well, yeah, because we're I suppose because there's two of us.
I'd say
we're quite fortunate in that we're quite prepared to talk about that plants don't release oxygen.
Yeah, we're quite prepared to talk about.
A lot of people would be frightened to say that because of ridicule.
Yeah,
but we don't care.
I'm not bothered. Boom's backside.
You know,
I'm not bothered. Didn't care anyway.
It gets
show us the oxygen. You know,
it gets back to the Gandhi. You know, if you think you're right, if you know you're right, speak your mind.
Just speak it.
You know, I know that I'm right about the oxygen because we've done it from the plant and we got bugger all. You know, it was dead.
If anything, you're going to get carbon dioxide from the sodium bicarbonate.
Absolutely, yeah. You know, it's all the bubbles, whatever they are. Yeah, absolutely. But there you go. Anyway.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everybody in the chat room. Sorry I wasn't in there. I explained I've got a computer issue thing going on.
on the computer, it just lobs off, and that's where the control panel is. So yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah, that's all right. We don't mind.
Yeah, we don't mind. But yeah, I'd like to say thanks ever so much for having us on.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Oh,
It's
it's
been wicked.
great.
Thanks,
And,
Nicolas. Yeah, and good to
nice to
meet
see
you and stuff.
Nice to see Pete and Pete.
Yeah,
I'll
absolutely.
be
Yeah.
there on your channel.
thanks to Flat Earth Dude and Astral, Patricia.
Yeah, good old
thanks,
Astral,
Nicolas,
Yeah.
and
absolutely.
Peter and Pete.
Absolutely, yeah, and everyone in the
chat.
everyone in the chat, been great. Yeah, hopefully we can find out something absolutely amazing over the next few weeks.
Absolutely.
Maybe.
Yeah, you have to come back.
Nothing magical though.
Yeah, nothing wow. Probably won't have the wow factor. I was going to say factor, the wow factor.
Well, you don't know.
We've got so used to it now. We don't do wow anymore.
Oh, yeah. Maybe we have to do that on our next video.
Be great,
And also, you don't just do your experiments. You're on the street. You go out talking to people. So we appreciate you for that as well.
Well, I mean, even I would agree that my brother does do quite a lot, you know, because you wouldn't get some flat earthers going out onto the street with a loudspeaker talking about flat Earth. So I think I think he does quite well.
I've watched John Smith Globe Live videos, and
they've started to use a megaphone.
Yeah, I've seen some people use a megaphone, small little megaphone thing.
Yeah, the Earth is flat. The Earth is flat,
and I have to. It's good, but they don't seem to have much confidence with it.
No, it's just time.
I think it's time or whatever. But to be honest with you, I was saying to Vic that I must be the loudest flat earther in the country because I actually use a microphone and a speaker. But it's the best way to get attention. I do find it works really, really well. Because people do stop.
Because you don't see it often.
And a lot of people don't see somebody just talking through a microphone in the street.
Absolutely.
Normally they're singing or, so it's kind of interesting. But hopefully after Tuesday, it will be pretty good.
Oh, right, yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, because we might actually get, as Chester Flat Earth Group, we might actually get a little slot in our local paper about our details of our organisation and where we meet up.
Absolutely, yeah. You don't know. It's quite, and also we've got to advertise ourselves to readers of the newspaper if they publish the article that we are willing to give talks on presentations on flat Earth in the area. Yeah. So
you might get your Women's Institute.
Absolutely, of course.
Or
you might get your Astronomical Society.
Yeah. Oh, Barbara, have you seen this? There's the flat Earth. Have you heard about that?
Oh, really?
It'd be great for them to come along and have a talk to us.
Oh, yeah. I think we need to know everything there is to know about flat Earth. And who better than Chester Flat Earth Group? I think it'll be quite good. Yeah, sure. Be great. Anyway, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Thanks ever so much. Yeah, thank you, Karen.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Oh,
Cheers,
thank
Karen.
you.
Thank you, Karen.
It's been really great,
Nicholas.
It's been a great Friday evening.
Yeah,
it has.
Friday afternoon.
Lovely. See you later.
Thank you to everybody in the chat.
Yeah. Thanks everyone.
Bye. Bye.
Bye everybody.
Bye.
Bye everybody.